All right, good evening and welcome to the channel. Mark W and Rob Bob present, and this particular stream is called Saturday Night Gaming. And Rob Bob is out for Passover. We'll go with that. And I am your host as always, Mark W. Today we're getting on my grungy wooden desk again. Play some tabletop gaming. We got our piles of dice over here. We've got a pencil and some paper and the rule book to the game of choice tonight, which is, as you can see, DEADBALL. This is a baseball, kind of a simulation sort of game that involves a lot of dice and writing things with your pencil. And yeah, recently I placed an order with Drive-Thru RPG and just thought I would pick up some games that were a little bit out of the ordinary for what I usually get. Some kind of solo playable stuff too is what I got. So I got a few different games, and one of them was this DEADBALL, and it's the start of baseball season. It started a few weeks ago. I'm a little bit late. But yeah, I thought it'd be an appropriate time of the year to play a game about baseball. And I don't know if anyone in my audience is very into baseball or not. I like baseball. This hat that I'm always wearing, or often wearing, this is the Long Island Ducks. They are a local team. Their stadium's like 3 miles from my house, and they are based here on Long Island, New York. And they play in an independent league called the Atlantic League. So they have nothing to do with MLB. They're not like a minor league technically, I don't think. I'm not sure if I know all the terminology perfectly, but yeah, it's fun to go to their games once in a while. I also like some Major League Baseball, but tonight, yeah, we're gonna play DEADBALL, and this is actually quite a deep game. Um, I mean, I've played more complex games, but it does have some meat on its bones. So I thought I would play a stripped down version first before I get into anything too crazy. And this is it. This is the quick start version. This just gets you going, gets you into the hang of the game, and it looks pretty simple if you just play this one. But if you look at the actual manual, yeah, there's a lot to it. And I have the PDF ready, so I don't need to like flip through the physical book unless I feel like doing so. But we can flip through this a little bit and kind of go over, let's kind of get the idea of what it's like, what kind of topics it covers, and what kind of rules it tries to implement. Yeah, this is the cover, and this is a second edition by W.M. Akers. Womakers. Yeah, it's cool photos of old photos of baseball in its early days, and got a rule for pretty much everything, I guess. But again, I'm gonna play the simplified version first, and then we'll see how we want to advance from there. So here it says, it has kind of a warm and cozy feel to it in the introduction. I had nothing today. My whole body, I had nothing. It was awful. It was a waste of a day. And that's a quote by John Maine. And I'm not really, super. I do like baseball, and I've watched my share of games, but I can't say I have an enormous grasp of the history of the game. So I don't really even get who these people are. But here's another quote. Even on the worst days, Lord, that infield was heaven on earth. And that's by Juice Mankey. What kind of a name is that? Sorry, I don't mean to make fun of anybody, but never heard of a name like Juice Mankey before. So here's the table of contents. You can see we got getting started, the rules, creating players. Yeah, so you can play with fictional players that you roll up almost like an RPG character, like rolling up a character in D&D or Tunnels and Trolls or something. Or you can play with some pre-made characters, which is what I'm going to start by doing. And also you can play with real players. That's pretty fun. I guess you could take the current roster of your favorite MLB team or whatnot and make, DEADBALL characters based on their stats and then make them play. You could make your own dream team or your own crappy team, or you could make a a really good team from the 90s, play a really good team from today if you wanted to. Maybe the 98 Yankees today could play I don't know, the LA Dodgers from last year or something. I forgot who won the World Series last year. It wasn't the Dodgers, was it? Anyway, doesn't matter. And they have this whole section on the Southern Circuit 2022, which is obviously current-ish, and Southern Circuit 1913. Image sources, glossary, vital tables. All right, so here we go. Keep flipping through this. Batting practice at Radioactive Field. That sounds like a joke in The Simpsons, but apparently there was a radioactive field. Home of the champion Paducah Redbirds. Getting started. So yeah, I'm not going to read through this whole manual, but I thought it'd be fun to read through the introduction and just flip through some of the rest of it. Baseball is more than MLB. Although the American Major Leagues may represent the game's pinnacle, the game extends far beyond those 30 teams. It thrives on foreign ballparks, sandlot diamonds, and high school fields. It persists in history books and Hollywood films, in highlight reels and video games. It lives in the stories we tell each other about games we've seen, in the smudge pages of our scorebooks, in our memories and our hearts. You can see it gets kind of sentimental about it. Anyway, I'm going to load my drawing tool that I like to draw things on the screen. Here we go. Here's the drawing tool. It lives in DEADBALL 2. I created this game in 2017 as a way of recreating the joy of a day at the ballpark. I wanted something simple and fast, but with enough detail that when I looked back over my score sheet after the final out, I felt like it had all been real. I still can't believe how well it worked. Since then, thousands of games of DEADBALL have been played. Pennants have been won and lost. Dynasties have risen and crumbled to dust. Imaginary players have been given life, while historical stars have been welcomed into games they could never have imagined playing while they were alive. And all of it felt like the game. Why? It's about more than the dice or the tables or the minutiae of the rules. If DEADBALL works, it's because of something fundamental in the sport. Interesting. In its fans, in you. The best version of baseball is the one that exists in your head. Some schmutz on my screen. When you listen to the game on the radio or follow the action on your phone, you're seeing something better than the action on the field. You're watching it in your mind, where every catch is a miracle, where every home run is a mammoth, where every play is decided by an inch or less. It's that version of the game that DEADBALL lets loose. And one thing I didn't check is my audio level. Let me make sure that's good. All right, looks like nobody's in the chat yet, but at least the audio level is good, just in case somebody shows up. Yeah. In this book, the second edition of the game's core rulebook, which replaces both the original DEADBALL Baseball with Dice and DEADBALL 1909, I have tried to make it easier than ever for you to express the game as it exists in your head. The rules are clearer than ever before. The game is easier to learn and share. I've resolved inconsistencies and filled cracks, but I've resisted the urge to fill them all. In the introduction to the game's first rulebook, I wrote, if the game feels like baseball, then extra rules are useful only if they deepen that feeling. Where the game has gaps, fill them yourself, not with yourself, or leave them alone. If a rule doesn't satisfy you, change it. If it slows play, let it go. As long as both teams play by the same rules, the game will always be fair. I still believe that's the best way to approach this or any other game. DEADBALL is a framework, one that I hope I have built well. The magic will come from you. Welcome to year V or 5. I don't know what that means, honestly. This is the second edition of DEADBALL Baseball with Dice, a dice-based game for 1 or 2 players that uses real statistics to simulate a baseball game between teams from history, modern day, or your own imagination. To play, you will need copies of the digital supplements included with this game, a pen or a pencil, a dice rolling app, or standard set of role-playing dice, including a D4, a D6, a D8, a D12, a D20, and D100. Love of baseball, and about 30 minutes. So you can see it doesn't take a huge amount of time. And you consider how long the real game plays. How long does it take? Stu says, translation, I am not confident in these rules. Hello, Stu. Yeah, I get what you're saying. Well, yeah, I mean, I guess if you wanted to, play with every single rule from the get-go, you might find it too complex. And as one example, but as I mentioned when I started, I'm going to play with the quick start guide. So it's omitting a ton of rules, but just getting to the core mechanics of it. For the dice for the initiated, and this is just going over basics of how to describe dice. 2d6 means roll 2 6-sided dice, blah, blah, blah. In Deadball, the most important die is the D100, which is actually 2 10-sided dice rolled together to produce a 2-digit number between 1 and 100. There's actually also D100s that look like golf balls if you don't want to roll 2 10-sided dice. But usually one die will say 10, 20, 30, 40, while the other says 1, 2, 3, 4. This shouldn't be news to anybody who's played an RPG or even some other board games and things like that. But I can show you some of the dice I have. For D100 rolling, I do have. Where the hell did I put them? There we go. I do have kind of the 10s and 1s style dice, so I might roll these. So this was, as an example, this one is. These ones have a little bit of glare. Oh, it's partially my lighting setup, but I can swap them out for others if they look better. Anyway, this is a 15. So that's how you roll a D100. And you can use pretty much, all the standard kind of polyhedral dice that you'll find in an RPG, like a D12. They all come up, but the D100 and the D20 seem to be the most prevalent in this game. Dude, have you ever played Stratomatic baseball? I never have. I've heard of it. I know that some people are like really hardcore fans and they get like the latest, I think they have like a new edition every year or something like that with stats for every player. That's pretty neat. Pretty neat. I never played it though. Hello to Eric Johnson in the house. Cool. Thanks for joining, Eric and Stu and whoever else might be also in the house. So yeah, I've been going over, I kind of had like 5 minutes of talking to myself when no one was here, but basically I am going to play the simplified version, which is laid out of this baseball with dice game that is called Deadball. But first I'm going to skim through the rule book a bit. And the reason why I'm starting with this one is because there's quite a bit of complexity to it if you want to play the full game. But, just to get the hang of it, I'll start with this. We'll play it by ear. I might just play this version a few times. It's supposed to only take a half hour. I think I'm probably going to play this once and then try to get a little more advanced. But yeah, one thing I learned, by the way, is they say you guys can try this on your own real quick. I'm not going to show it right now. If you type Google Dice into Google, there's a cool thing built right into Google, a dice rolling tool. And you could just use that to roll all your dice if you wanted to. I never knew about that until I read this. And sorry, I'm not sharing the manual at the moment. Oops. I mean, I am, but I have my overhead camera in front of it. But yeah, if you just type Google Dice, you can see a cool little tool that Google built. And Stu says, sorry, I was watching Bill Maher, but I paused it to come here. Hey, you can watch Bill Maher if you want. I think I'm better than him, though. Anyway, what's in the book? In this chapter, new players will find primers to baseball, its scorekeeping, and the fundamentals of Deadball. Experienced players may dive right into Chapter 2, which lays out the complete rules for the modern era, that is after 1920, and the ancient era which preceded it. Chapter 3 lays out the rules for creating teams. So like I was saying before pretty much anyone joined, you can roll up your own team. It's like rolling up your character in D&D or something like that. Except it's really quick because you gotta roll up a lot of characters, and the stats aren't really that crazy deep. I mean, how much do you really need, I guess, for a baseball player? Anyway, whether the players are drawn from real life or created by the magic of the dice. While Chapter 4 and 5 continue the saga of the Southern Circuit, a fictional league studded with heroes, villains, artists, and buffoons, all of them larger than life. As you read, remember that like baseball, Deadball is a game whose rules are meant to be tweaked, bent, and occasionally outright broken by a damn horrible umpire, probably. Angel Hernandez. You use this book to build your own baseball universe, and you'll find that time has never passed so sweetly. What is baseball? Well, I'm trying to think about when I should just put the rule book down and jump into some of this quick start stuff. But we could really read this part over a little bit. It might be fun. 2 teams of 9 meet on a dirt diamond. They take turns attempting to hit a ball with a wooden bat or aluminum. Yeah, have you ever watched like college baseball? It's so different from MLB. especially that the sound of the bat. It's I don't know. The wooden bat is satisfying, especially when there's like a really solid hit, like a home run, a crack. But the aluminum bats are like clonk. I hate the sound of the aluminum bats. Anyway, no need to rant about bat materials. Yeah, after hitting the ball, the batter can run to the diamond's corners, first base, second base, third base, and back to home plate. They score a run. The other team tries to stop them. Play begins when the pitcher throws the ball towards the space above home plate called the strike zone. Pitches thrown through this zone are strikes. And the funny thing is the strike zone is an imaginary area in the umpire's head. Pitches thrown outside are balls. Strikes are also called on any pitch, excuse me, at which the batter swings without making contact, or on pitches hit foul, that is outside the field of play. If 3 strikes are recorded, the batter strikes out, ending their at-bat. If 4 balls are thrown, the batter goes to first for free on a walk. So you don't actually do pitch by pitch play in this game. It's just like you roll for the batter and the pitcher, and the outcome is determined. So that's why it's a lot faster than real baseball. For one reason why it's a lot faster. If the ball is batted fair, that is within the field of play, the game's action shifts from the strike zone. Excuse me. You can tell I'm a professional announcer. I'm coughing and burping and farting and everything else while I'm reading things. I didn't actually fart yet. Yeah, the game's action shifts from the strike zone to the infield and outfield as the batter runs to first. Excuse me. Fielding players who occupy the positions shown opposite attempt to catch the ball before it lands. Here's the positions they're talking about. I mean, I guess unless you're completely new to baseball, this is kind of a little bit redundant, I suppose. But those numbers are good to know, though, because I'm going to be keeping track of the scoring throughout the game. And I might be writing something like 4.3, which means the second baseman fielded the ball. Let's see, number 4, as it says right here. And then he threw it to first base. So that's called a 4-3 play. And each of these numbers, each position to assign a number. And this is a fixed thing, right? And it's been this way kind of forever. You got 1 is the pitcher, 2 is the catcher. Then it goes first is 3, second is 4, third is 5, shortstop is 6, and then you have the outfielders are 7, 8, 9. All right. So sometimes you hear things like, if you're watching baseball, MLB on TV, they'll say, that was a 6-4-3 double play. So the shortstop tossed it over to the second baseman to get 1 out, and then the second baseman tossed it to the first baseman for the second out. Anyway, maybe I'll gloss over some of this. We don't really need to. I mean, I feel like anybody who's watching probably knows the basics of baseball. And if they don't, I don't know if this explanation would even do much good, because it's like, I think you need to see it in action pretty much. Okay. So keeping score. Yeah, I think I'm just going to jump into it now. But these are some of the symbols I'm going to be writing as I keep score. Like a strikeout is a K. This one's caught stealing. I don't think this basic version that I'm going to be playing even has stealing bases. But yeah, here, this is like what I just said about the 4-3 play, 5-3, etc. Here's some notations for hits. You would essentially you're drawing like a line for how far the runner ran, more or less. And you got these little lines in the lower right corner for single, double, triple. This is a home run, which looks like a scribble, I guess. Batter doubled, and later scored. Not sure I know what that means exactly. Well, I guess maybe for some funky reason, like an error they scored. I don't know. All right, for that matter, do we write down errors? Maybe not. All right, I'm thinking I'm going to jump into it. Stu says, quick question, what is a ball? Is that the round thing? Yeah, it's a spherical thing that you hold in your hand. All right, so I'm going to jump into it. And yeah, again, if I like the game, or even if I don't like it, I'll probably play a more advanced version after playing this very basic, simple version. I mean, if I absolutely hate it, maybe I won't. It does look like in this version there isn't much in the way of decision making. In other words, the game might totally play itself. I'm not entirely sure. But that's okay. I think that'll be fun anyway. So what we have is, with this ultra simple version, we have the one sheet rules. This is all you need to play the ultra simple version. And this is my scorecard as well as my roster. So it comes with a pre-created team and roster for each team. So we have the away team is the Grackles and the home team is the Peacocks. Fictional names of teams always sound so ridiculous. I think probably all team names are ridiculous, but you get used to them. So we got the Grackles and the Peacocks. And here's our players on which team is this? I guess the Grackles. Okay, and the Grackle players we have our center fielder. He's batting leadoff. He is Alan Milliken. I was gonna say McKillen, but that's not. It's Milliken. He plays center field. Denise Atkins. We were playing mixed gender baseball actually. Denise Atkins, right field. Scott Kent, second base. Mac McClintock. Sorry, I don't know why I find that so funny. Mac McClintock, shortstop. Casey Madison, left field. Joseph English, first base. I'm just laughing at myself for no reason. He says also is a dead ball when circulation cut off to one. I'm not gonna read it. Don't anchorman me here. Michael Stahl on third base. Buford Fats. That or Fatty Fat of the game. Buford Fats. So that's kind of I don't know if Arturo is here, but we had this thing where whenever we played this game, we used to play this game, the zombie game, once in a while, called Oregon Trail, not Oregon Trail, but Oregon Trail, and we would always name one guy Fatty Fat for no particular reason. Anyway, Buford Fats is our catcher. Kid Easton is our pitcher. And to review these numbers really quick, all it means is this is how good they are at batting. It's a very simple system. It's called the batting target, 30. Higher is better. And then after that, we have whether they bat lefty or righty. And in this very simple version, I don't think it actually matters lefty versus righty, but in the more advanced versions, it does. And then we have the pitching die for the pitcher. That's basically how good they are at pitching. They roll a different one of these polyhedral dice depending how good they are. For example, if you're a not so great pitcher, you will roll a 4-sided die, which will generate a number between 1 and 4. And if you're a little better than that, you would get a D6, or this pitcher gets a D8. So they can roll from a 1 through an 8 for how effective their pitch is, essentially. Higher is better for the pitcher. By the way, here's some dice that this purple set of dice, this orange set of dice, I've had these guys forever. I've played some D&D games and other RPGs with these. I started buying my own sets of these dice in probably like the late 80s, early 90s. I'm like remembering my character from D&D that my brother would run the game. I was using this die for my fighter character. His name was Guys the Figgy. Don't ask me. I was a weird child. He was a fighter who rolled uncanny stats. I rolled them in front of my brother. He rolls. I don't want to get too much of a sidetrack, but in D&D you roll 3 6-sided dice. There's alternate ways you can play, but at least back then it was 3 6-sided dice for each stat, and there were 6 stats. And I rolled 3 18s in front of my brother, so it was honest to God. 18 being the highest you can roll. Anyway, that guy was pretty cool, that character. Guys the Figgy. But back into the baseball world and not D&D, let's check out the other team. I guess I'm going to say I'm the Grackles, the away team, and the Peacocks are at home. But yeah, really, I'm not making any decisions in this particular version. I think I'm just basically rolling dice and seeing what happens. Anyway, we on the Peacocks, we have Dash the Flash leading off. He plays second base, followed by Khaki Campbell, right field. Joseph Myers on third. Catherine Burke in left field. Yeah, again, we are, bi gender here. I don't know what the term is, but we're it's not intersex. That's not the right word, is it? What's the word for that? Anyway, Co-ed, I don't know. Mark Wheeler on first. Hawkins and Trekken on shortstop. Terry Caniff in center field. Sam Fischel, the catcher, and Sam Sizemore, the pitcher. He's quite a poor pitcher, actually. Remember, I was saying a D4 means you're not a good pitcher. Well, he is that. um, oh, by the way, they give you, okay, it doesn't seem that bad. They give you the ERA translation, right? If you know baseball at all, if you don't know baseball, it's a little bit confusing probably. But if you know it, there's a stat for pitchers that it's called the earned run average, and that is basically how many runs they tend to give up. So higher is worse. This is per 9 innings on average. So if you are in this game, if you have an ERA of 3 to 3.49, you roll a D4. That's actually not a bad ERA at all. Some of these other ones are like God tier. I'm not sure why it's like that. But it looks like for some of them, you actually subtract the pitch die. So if your ERA was 5, that would be like a minus D12. There are rules that we're not playing in this particular simple version of the game, but where like after certain events happen, like you say you give up too many runs, your pitcher actually goes down 1 rank. So the pitcher who rolls a D4, if he he had some bad luck and gave up 3 runs or whatever the rule is, he would become a minus D4 pitcher. Or if he plays for too many innings, he would lose a rank, and that's how it kind of simulates fatigue or the pitcher getting frazzled and stuff like that. But yeah, in this particular version I'm playing, the very basic, I don't think there's any fatigue or anything like that. In other words, what it boils down to is the Grackles pitcher rolls a D8 always, and the Peacocks roll the D4 always. I don't know if these teams are balanced. Like, it doesn't really matter a heck of a lot, but I don't know if the one with the worst pitcher has slightly better offense overall or what. Who cares? We'll see how it goes. Okay, so onto this sheet. Yeah, we're going to just get into this. Let's see. Should we zoom in a little bit? All right, so what you do is the core action of this game is the batter rolls his dice and the pitcher rolls his pitch die, and you figure out a number from that and you check the outcome. So how that starts is the batter is rolling these percent dice, and we'll do a quick simulation of this. And they're trying to get equal to or under their batting target, essentially. So 30 for Alan Milliken. But it gets adjusted by the pitcher's die roll. So the opposing pitcher is rolling only a D4. So basically, if I roll, let's say, a 30, then it's just barely a hit. But the pitcher's die figures into that. And then it would become something else. It's not quite necessarily an out. The way it works is that roll, which is the 100-sided die roll, or D100, whatever they call it, plus the pitcher's roll becomes the modified swing score, MSS. And if that is equal to or less than the batter target, it's a hit. If 1 to 5 points higher, it's a walk. Okay. So the example I just gave, if I rolled a 30 on the D100 and the pitcher rolled, let's say, a 4, that would be a 34, which was 4 higher than his batting target of 30, the hitter's batting target, and therefore it would have been a walk. But if it's more than 5 points higher, the batter is out. And then if the batter is out, you essentially, in a sense, it doesn't matter in terms of game mechanics, I guess, but you can see how the out transpired, just so you can imagine it in your head. For example, it could be like the example I said before, is a 4-3 play. A 0 or 1 or 2 would be a strike. The way this works is you look at the last digit of your MSS, the modified swing score, and that's just it's kind of just flavor, I guess. But if you actually hit, you roll the D20, see what happened when your batter hit the ball. And we use the basic hit table. There's a more advanced one, but essentially if we roll really high, a 19 or 20, we hit a home run. Otherwise, it's a single, double, or triple. But there's different kinds of singles, right? 1 or 2 is just a plain old single. 3 to 7 would mean single, roll for defense. 8 to 12 means single, runners advance too. So my batter would make it to first, but the other runners on base would advance too. And the roll for defense is another table here. So basically, the defense has a chance to take away the hit in this case, and you roll to see what happens. It could be an error, the runners take an extra base. It could be nothing special happen, no change, or it could be the hit goes down a level, so a double is reduced to a single, etc. Or if you roll a 12, the hit was turned into an out. All right. The batter is out. Right DEF. Right DEF. No, I think I'm going to write the symbol that they mentioned in the rule book. I don't want to write DEF. They're trying to simplify it here, I guess. That's pretty much the whole thing. And then, you score as you would expect. But I want more. It said, well, then you can, check out the manual and whatnot. But all right, let's try this very simple version first. Again, I don't think there's actually any decisions to be made. So in a sense, it's kind of a simulation more than a game. A very basic simulation. But again, with the advanced rules, there are decisions, I'm pretty sure. I know you can at least steal bases, which I think would be a decision, right? I want to try stealing the base. Anyway, I think you can get into managing the team and substituting players and whatnot. So why don't we just go for it? See what happens. So the first at bat is Alan Milliken, like we just kind of simulated. So we're gonna roll our D100. Where did I put them? There you are. Okay. All right. So let's see. Milliken steps in the batter's box and he rolled a 40. That's already 10 higher than his batting target of 30. So it's already a guaranteed out. But just to play it out anyway, let's get our D4 for the pitcher's die. And the pitcher got a 4. Look at the top number on this particular D4. So that becomes a total of 44 for the, what do they call it, the adjusted swing or something, the modified swing score with a 44. So that was an out. And you look at the last digit on this chart to see what kind of out it was. And that was a 4-3 play. So it was a grounder to the second baseman who threw it to the first baseman. And you just write 4-3. That's our first out. Now, one thing they didn't give me here, and there's for the more advanced game, they give you this play mat, right? But they didn't give me this diamond to draw where all the players are for this simple version. So I just drew this on the back of the scoring sheet. So once I get somebody on base, I'll just I don't know, draw a little man or something, a little stick figure. All right, let's keep going. So now Denise Atkins is at bat. And the pitcher scoffs at her and says, like a woman's going to hit my ball. My pitch, going to hit my ball. Yeah, I got to watch what I say or Stu's going to turn it into a Bulls joke. She rolled a 65, which is unfortunately already a guaranteed out. But the pitcher adds his D4, and he adds 4. So that total becomes 69. So the pitcher 69 is Denise Atkins. And the 9 means it was a pop-up to right field. So what do we write, F9, or how do we write this? Let me check that real quick. Yeah, I think F9 is probably what we write. Yeah, F9 like that. Okay. So Denise Atkins popped up to right field. And you can see this play seems pretty quick. All right, on to Scott Kent, trying to do something this inning. He has a batting target of 29. Now, what's kind of interesting to me is how they don't really vary that much, these batting targets. I guess it's like a batting average, essentially, minus the last digit. So essentially it's like a 300 batter, then a 310 batter, a 290, a 270, a 230, and so on. And the pitcher is batting 080. And I guess we don't have a DH, a designated hitter, so the pitcher is going to have to bat. And in the real, major leagues, when you have the pitcher, didn't they add the DH in both leagues now? I think they did. But anyway, it used to be a thing that fans of the National League would say that it's more strategy because you have to worry about, the pitcher and timing the substitutions and doing what do they call them, double switches and all that stuff. But we're not doing any substitutions, and so we're just gonna have the pitcher flail. Anyway, Scott Kent is at bat. Let's see what he can do. Scott Kent rolls a 38, so he is already out as well. And the pitcher adds his D4 pitcher roll, which is a 1. It's too bad it's hard to see the D4s from this overhead view, but it is a 1. So the total is 39 versus that target of 29 that Scott Kent has. And once again, we look at the last digit of that roll we just made means it was a 9, so right field. So he popped up to right field as well. And that was the top of the first inning. Nothing for the Grackles. We write a big goose egg right there. And we have what do we write here? We write I guess we can write the runs, hits, and errors at the end. I don't know how they do that in real baseball. Or do they just change the numbers as they go? I guess they probably. Yeah, I guess we could do that. We'll write 0, 0, 0. Just kind of erase and change those as we go. All right. So now we're at the bottom of the first inning, and the Peacocks strut to the plate. And starting off in the inning is Dash the Flash with his 320 batting average. He's a switch hitter, by the way, which doesn't matter in this simplified version of the game that we're playing. But this would be quite a good batter, really. A 320 who's a switch hitter would be pretty impressive. Switch hitter means it's kind of a rare, for those who don't know baseball, it's a rare kind of batter who can hit right-handed or left-handed. In real baseball, right-handed batter hits better against a left-handed pitcher and vice versa. But if you have the same handedness, like you're left-handed versus a left-handed pitcher, it helps the pitcher a little bit, basically. And it has to do with the angle of the way the ball's coming at you. It's basically like slightly less, what's the way to put it? You have a little bit less reaction time, I guess, if it's the same hand. Left versus left. Anyway, Dash the Flash. Let's roll for him. His batting target is 32. He rolled a 19, so that's actually quite a good roll for Dash the Flash. Let's see what our pitcher can do. Kid Easton, the pitcher of the Grackles, actually has a D8 for his pitching die, so that's pretty good. He adds a 6 to it, so the total of the modified swing score is how do I add? No, it is 25, which is still below the 32 and is therefore a hit. We have our first hit of the evening. Let's see what kind of hit it is. We look at the basic hit table. Take a D20. I'm going to take this big honking D20 because why not? I don't know where this came from. I don't remember buying it. And possibly I accidentally stole it from my brother who used to buy a lot of dice too. But this could be fun to roll for this particular game. So let's take a look at the outcomes. Yeah, we looked at this before. There basically are different kinds of singles, doubles, and there's also triple and home run. And so as you can see, this is simple. So, in real baseball, you have the concept of, power hitters, or there could be somebody who has a very high batting average but doesn't hit for power. And you can see in this game, in this particular quick start game, it's not taking that into account at all. So in other words, these guys all have the same strengths, more or less. So anyway, let's just roll. 20. Dash the Flash just steps to the plate and clobbers that thing. A home run. All right, but it's only a 1-run home run. But hey, that's a great way to start the game for the Peacocks. How do we draw that home run again? Let's take a look. Boop, 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 boop. We draw this thing. Okay. The batter hit a home run. It's like a solid diamond, like so. And you write Home run. Sorry, I'm not showing the right thing. Okay, so that is 1 run on the board for the Peacocks. Next up is Khaki Campbell. Khaki Campbell has a 33 batting target. All right, Khaki, let's see what you can do. Khaki rolled a 26, which has the potential to be a hit because he or she, I don't know, I don't know if Khaki, he or she, has that batting target of 33. So we're under that right now with a 26. But Kid Easton, the pitcher, has to add his D8 into the figure, and that becomes a total of 31, which is still less than the BT, equal to or less than. Therefore, that is a hit as well, or probably a hit. Because there's still a chance of getting one of the outcomes where the defenders can do something. But hey, they put the ball in play. Let's say that for now. Let's see what kind of a hit. A 17. I think it's a triple. No, it's a double, but runners advance 3. However, we have no runners on base. Therefore, it is a double. And so we can write, where do we have that? Yeah, we're going to write a little stick figure here. Okay, we got a runner on second. And how do we write this double? Let's check the manual again. It looks like this. You write that to indicate they ran to first and then to second. And you put these 2 lines like that. Okay, so something's happening for the Peacocks for sure. If not for the other team at all. Actually, it's kind of interesting. The other team, the Grackles has a better pitcher for sure. All right, so Joseph Myers steps up to the plate. The pitcher, Kid Easton, is sweating a little bit, but nothing happens to him in this particular version of the game. He's still as effective as when he started. So let's roll for Joseph Myers, who has a 29 batting target. A 59, that is an automatic out. But let's add in the pitcher's die anyway. What do we have? 59. I kind of knocked those loose. That becomes 64. Look at the last digit 4 to see what kind of out. It is a second base out. So ground ball to second, 4-3. And that is the first out for the Peacocks in the bottom of the first inning. Next up, once again, we are in a co-ed team. So Catherine Burke steps up to the plate. She's our left fielder. Stu says this is almost like watching a 1975 mainframe baseball simulation in extreme super slow motion. I guess you could say that. I think that could probably do it faster. Yeah, it's a super slow motion, sure. But the 1975 mainframe doesn't give you this colorful language like Catherine Burke steps up to the plate. It probably could. There's a really cool baseball sim game called Out of the Park Baseball. It's so crazy deep. You can do anything with it. It's addicting, and I would play through every single at bat of an entire season, making every decision, every management decision, as well as every decisions, steal a base and whatnot. And I would spend so much time playing that it was like addicting that eventually I just had to drop it. I was like, okay, I'm getting too into this. I don't know why it's so addicting to me. But anyway, we have 1 out. So yeah, Catherine Burke steps to the plate. I am seeing how probably this will, by the time I'm in inning 3 or so, I'm probably going to be like, all right, I wish I could make a decision now or do something other than just roll. So it's possible I might just abort after like 3 innings, then try to play the more advanced game. I chose the number 3 arbitrarily. I could play the whole game. Who knows? We'll see how I feel. And you guys can chime in about how you feel too. Does it suck or it's fun to watch? I just dropped a die. Catherine Burke, let's roll. He rolled a 71, which is not good at all. And figuring in our D8, I'll use this blue D8 this time. This is for the pitcher. 71 becomes 72. You look at the 2. That is a strikeout, a K for Catherine Burke. All right, 2 outs. We have Kirk Campbell on second base, still looking to score a run. Mark Wheeler, our first baseman with a 29 batting target, steps to the plate and rolls an 89. Not only did he strike out, he let go of the bat and it flew into the stands and hit an old lady in the face, giving her a bloody face. And that is actually a thing I saw happen at a Long Island Ducks game. A little bit of glare. It's a little bit hard to, like, I have to position the the dice tray in just the right area, or you can see some of the glare from the lamp. But anyway, yeah, we'll add the pitcher's die. Nonetheless, that becomes a 91. And you look at the one, that is a strikeout. So that is our inning. Yeah, so the Peacocks scored 1 run on 2 hits and no errors. But now we're at the top of the second inning, and Mac McClintock steps to us. Why do I always laugh at this guy? Mac McClintock. I am Clintock. He steps to the plate with his 270. Now we are rolling the D4 again for the pitcher, because we have the other team's crappy pitchers, Sam Sizemore, on the mound. Mac McClintock rolls a 68. So that's an out. The pitcher adds a D4, and it becomes a total of a 71, because that's a 3. And once again, you look at that last digit of that number, and it's a strikeout right away for Mac McClintock. Casey Madison has only a 23 batting target and rolls a very low 4. Look at that, 0 and a 4. All right. Now, too bad the degree to which you beat your batting target doesn't really figure into your hit. Maybe in the more advanced version it does. I don't know. Anyway, D4 gets added to that. Probably doesn't really matter. And that was a 1. So he rolled a 5. I don't know if Casey's male or female. Casey at the bat, right? That's a hit for sure. So once again, we roll on the hit table. We'll bring out the massive D20. And it is an 11, which is single with runners advancing too. But once again, we have no runners. We have to kill this runner because he had to go back to the dugout at the end of last inning. But now we have someone right here. All right. So that was a single, which we draw like so. We draw the one. Probably shouldn't have drew it that far. It's like just that one part of the diamond is what it's supposed to be. And a little bar here to indicate single. Joseph English. Johnny English. No. Joseph English. He is a lefty with a 260 batting average. Rolls a 32. That's going to be a, yeah, pretty much just barely an out. But we had the D4 as well. And that is a 1. So yeah, 33 is more than 5. Remember, if you roll within 5 above the batting target, there's actually a walk. But no such luck. It is an out for Joseph English. And we look at that last digit, 3 was the first baseman. It was a grounder to the first baseman. So we write G3. So that's 2 out for the Grackles in the top of the second inning. They do have 1 on base, 1 person on first base. That is Casey Mattison. And Michael Stahl is going to try to do his best. Driving that run, probably not going to happen. He's not in scoring position to begin with. 23 is the batting target, not great. Let's see what happens though. Ooh, a 25. Oh, a walk could happen here. That's interesting. So it's a 25, but we have to add in the D4 for the pitcher as usual. And that is a 3, bringing the total to 28. 28 exactly 5, greater than Michael Stahl's batting target. So I think that counts as a walk. If 1 to 5 points higher, it is a walk. That's pretty cool. We had our first walk. All right, so what is the symbol for a walk that we're supposed to write? A W? I mean, you don't have to do it like they say, I suppose, but I like to do that. Where is a walk? They don't have any walks here. They have batter reach first on an error, batter reach first on a fielder's choice. Huh. Caught stealing. These are all the outs right here. All right, I guess I'm just going to write a W. I don't know. Or I guess I could write BB for base on balls. Isn't that what they technically write in real baseball? I don't know. All right, BB. Base on balls. Okay, so now we got 2 guys on base. And step into the plate is, oh no, not Buford Fats. This rally is going to end right here with Buford Fats, who has a 200 batting average. He is a righty. He's our catcher, and he's a little bit overweight. So he can't run very fast. I'm just making that up, obviously. So let's see if Buford Fats can pull off a hit, at least drive in that runner on second base. Maybe. I have no hope for Buford Fats, though. Wow, Buford Fats rolled a 24. Now, here's the thing. That's 4 greater than his batting target of 20, meaning the D4 for the pitcher has to be a 1 to pull off the base on balls, to pull off the walk, in other words. But if it's a 2, 3, or 4, he is out. So let's try to get this 1 for Buford Fats. Nope, the pitcher rolled a 3. See the 3 on top? So sorry, Buford Fats. He didn't pull off the walk. Maybe it was a... well, let's figure out what the result is. Then I'll make up a story. So last digit of our total was a 7, meaning it was a fly out to left field. So yeah, he was working the count. Maybe it was a 3-2 count or 3-1. And unfortunately, he just swung and popped out. So we write F7. All right, so we left 2 men stranded. The Peacock, or the Grackles left 2 men stranded, that is. And we switch. Oh, what do we write here? We got 1 hit, was it? We don't count the base on balls. So we write a 1 right here. And these 2 guys are terminated. No, don't erase us from existence just for failing to score in baseball. Okay, bottom of the second. Up at bat is Hawkins and Tricken, the shortstop, with a 230 average. He is a lefty, and it doesn't matter. He rolled a 47, which is way too high, and the pitcher on the Grackle rolls his D8, which is a 3. So the total is 50, meaning our last digit of the roll is a 0. And that is a big K, a strikeout for Hawkins and Tricken. Next up is Terry Caniff, the center fielder with a 240 average. Steps up and rolls dice instead of swinging the bat. That was his problem. That was his mistake. He decided to roll dice instead of swinging the bat, and he rolled a 73, which is horrible. Adding in the D8 for the pitcher, it becomes a 74. And a 4 means a 4-3 play. The second baseman picks up that ground ball, tosses it to the first baseman, and Terry Caniff is out. Okay, so nobody on base. They already got 2 outs. Up comes the catcher, Sam Fischel, with a, or Fischel, I don't know. I used to work for a guy whose last name was Fischel, but I believe there was a C in there. Fischel. Anyway, Fischel is a lefty. Batting target is 25. Stu says Milton Caniff wrote the comic strip Terry and the Pirates. That's good to know. But this is oh, that Terry can have. Oh, I think I get it. I wonder how many jokes are in the names like this. It's probably a bunch. All right, Sam Fischel rolls a solid 14. Look at that. Once again, though, it's like the magical glare area is over here. I have to try to roll them more like over here. So we add in the D8 for the pitcher, Kid Easton, and it becomes a 16. That is probably a hit. We roll on the basic hit table once again. The giant D20 says, "Hey, baby." And it is a 15. That sounds good for the Peacock's batter. Here's a double with a roll for defense. Okay, this is our first roll for defense, so this might be fun. We roll a D12 for the defense. So let us grab a D12. Let's find one. Here's one. And we roll a 6, which translates to no change. Okay, so it is a double. So Sam Fischel gets a double. And here is Mr. Sam Fischel on second. All right, with 2 outs, 1 man on second base. Unfortunately, it's time for the pitcher to give us the near guaranteed out, unfortunately. It's like watching those National League games all those years, except we cannot strategize to pull him, put in a pinch hitter or whatnot. We're not that advanced yet. So we have to roll with this target of 6. It'll take a miracle, a minor miracle, not a major one, a minor miracle to get our hit right here for our pitcher, Sam Sizemore. Oof, he rolls a 56. That is way out. We add the D8. And that total, we added 5 to that, so it's a 61. A 1 is a strikeout. So the pitcher flails, and it's a 3-pitch strikeout, we'll say. And that is the end of the second inning. The Peacocks leave 1 man on base, do not score. And they we add 1 to the hit column here, though. So we have after 2 innings, 0 runs. This is for the Grackle, 0 runs, 1 hit, 0 errors, and for the Peacocks, 1 run, 3 hits, 0 errors. Okay. Yeah, obviously this is again the super basic version of the game, and you don't make it anything in the way of decision, but it's fun to watch it play out. And I like dice. I like rolling dice. So I find this fun, and I like watching the scorecards fill in. I think I mentioned this before, but I only bothered to at a baseball game once did I ever fill out the scorecard. It's kind of fun to do. You wind up with something that looks like this. I did it at a Long Island Ducks game. You can buy a scorecard for like $2, whatever, and as you play, you fill it in, and it's kind of neat once it's all filled out and you can see the whole, how the whole game progressed. But anyway, to start out the third inning, Kid Easton reluctantly steps up to the plate with his batting target of 8. And they are telling him, the coach is telling him, don't even swing. Hopefully they'll throw you 4 balls, right? Confucius say baseball wrong. Men with 4 balls cannot walk. Those horrible jokes. And one of the the pitcher is so bad at batting that his tens die flies out of the of the batter's box. He rolled an 85. Yeah, that's what we expect from the pitcher. We add in the D4 for Sam Sizemore, the other team's pitcher, and it becomes an 88. Last digit 8 means a fly out to center field, F8. All right, so that is our first out of the third inning. And we're back up at the second at bat for Alan Milliken. He hit a ground ball to the a ground out, a 4-3 ground out in the first inning. Sorry, I'm trying to figure out, am I supposed to be writing writing his outcome in the 2 or the 3. I guess that would be in the 3 because each of these columns corresponds to an inning, I think. Here are the innings up here, 1 through 12. And each of these columns is an inning. So I think I would write his outcome in 3 because it's the 3rd inning. But I was initially ready to write it here in 2, but I think 3 makes more sense. All right, so let's do that. And he has a 30 batting target. Go Alan Milliken. He rolls a 16. This is going to be a solid hit because the opposing pitcher only adds a D4. So that's an 18. And yeah, we roll on the hit table, basic hit table. Once again, we bring out the massive D20. Patonk. A 1. Uh-oh. Well, so much for a solid hit. I kind of spoke a little prematurely. Actually, it is. It's a single. Somehow I thought it would be really bad. I guess I'm used to like RPGs where you, D&D or something. Oh, it's a critical value. But no, it's actually a single. It's fine. Okay, so Alan Milliken singles. And, yeah. He's on first. Who's on first? Should draw each person a little differently. That would take a lot of thinking about how each person looks. And actually, I would need to have some artistic talent. But that could be fun if I was able to pull it off. Or I could have like a little figure for each guy. It would have to not be on the back of the table. It would have to have like on the back of the paper. It'd have to have something sitting here, like a fixed, fixed thing, a baseball diamond. I could move a little figure. Maybe some of my like RPG miniature I could move around. Have like an ogre running around the bases. Yeah, no, we should modify this game to make it like a fantasy RPG where you could have characters like ogres who have supreme strength. So maybe their batting average doesn't help, but being an ogre doesn't help their batting average, but they have a lot of strength. Or maybe you could have like a dragon or something like that running the bases, and if an infielder tries to tag him out, you just breathe fire on him. It's okay. I'm obviously getting a little carried away here, but Denise Atkins showing us that women can play baseball with the men. Let's see if she can get a hit though. She does not show us that she can hang with the men, at least not this at bat. She rolled a 75, and once again, Sam Sizemore of the Peacocks adds his D4, and it becomes a 78. And an 8 on the out table means fly out to center field. So F8. All right, Scott Kent steps up to the plate. He's a lefty. Last time he flied out to right field. Dude says, I am not okay with you modifying the rules in that fashion. You must play exactly on this. Hey, the manual said you can make it your own game. I'm going to combine this game with Tunnels and Trolls, maybe. I'll play a leprechaun who can teleport from... I think I might be onto something here. The leprechauns can automatically steal a base because they teleport. They just go, okay, I'm on first. Nope, I'm on second now. And yeah. I'm gonna think about this later. I might think if I can come up with some coherent set of rules. But for now, we're playing DEADBALL. We're playing DEADBALL. Scott Kent rolled a look at that. He rolled a 1. Look at that. But the other pitcher figures in his roll to ruin that perfect 1 and makes it a 2. All right, 1 and 1 is 2. Now, for those who aren't familiar with D100, the way this works is, it's a range from 1 to 100. So if you roll this, all zeros, it's actually a 100, not a 0. Although I guess it could depend on the game. Any particular game could say that actually means a 0, but I've never seen that. Anyway, so let's roll on the hit table for Scott Kent. Scott Kent rolled a 14. It is a double with a roll for defense. So we're going to roll on this fun defense chart again. A 3. That is no change. All right, so a double. Now, we already had Alan Milliken on base. But does he only advance? No, he must advance 2, right? Yeah, that's what a double is. So, oh, he wasn't on. Sorry, I'm confusing myself. All right, so what's his name? Alan is on third, and Scott is on first. This is what we have. Runners on the corners, they call that. All right, that's pretty good. So the Grackles are making something happen here in the top of the third inning. Trying to get a run on the board to tie up the Peacocks. They have 1 out. And stepping up to the plate is Mac Mc. Again, I don't know why this name makes me laugh all the time, but it is Mac McClintock, the shortstop. He struck out last time. His batting target is 27. Rolled a 69, dude. Well, unfortunately, he is out because he was too busy 69ing in the batter's box. But let's see what the pitcher adds to that. He adds 4. That is 73, and the 3-digit means grounded to first. So we write that G3. So that's 2 outs, and now it is up to Casey Madison with the lowly 23 batting targets. Try to get a run in. Let's see if he or she, I don't know who Casey is, a male or female, can do it. 55 is not going to do it. We add in the pitcher's number, and it becomes 59. And once again, a 9 is a fly out to right field. So that is our inning. Casey Madison flies out to right field. Yeah, so we write, what do we add here? 2 hits, right? Yeah, 2 hits, but no runs scored. So this column here is a 3 for the Grackles. And the Peacocks are up again. I got 1 viewer left at this point. It says that used to. Should I go to the more advanced version of the game? I'm gonna do one more. Well, maybe I'll just finish this inning, and then I'll check in the more advanced rules. So the Peacocks are up, and we start with the top of the order. Dash the Flash, who he hammered the ball and hit a home run last time. Very first at bat for the Peacock last. Oh, look at that! I said I was gonna write these in the third column, and then I didn't. Oh well. So this was actually 3, and this is nothing, we'll say. How confusing is that? Okay. Of course, YouTube could also be lying to me. Sometimes it says I have, 0 viewers, and then Arturo's like, I'm here, actually. All right, so yeah, Dash the Flash is like, I'm going to win this game for us. Every time I step up to the plate, I'm going to hit a home run. All right, you're getting a little too confident there, Dash the Flash. I imagine that character from the Blackadder series, I think his name was Flashheart, and he was like always being a braggart and, wooing the women and everything. I love the Blackadder series, by the way. That's with Rowan Atkinson. Here in the U.S., his less famous role. Everybody knows him as Mr. Bean here, but I love Blackadder quite a bit. I used to record it on VHS on Friday nights in high school. You could tell I was a party animal in high school. I would record Blackadder and Red Dwarf, and I looked forward to that. Like, after a week of high school, which is high school is a pile of BS. Nobody likes that. It was a great thing to chill out to after dinner. It was not like 8 and 8:30 or 9 and 9:30, something like that. Anyway, Stu says, I've been streaming this really fun game, 999, 9 hours, 9 person, 9 doors, and getting almost no viewers. I've been getting the notifications for that, but, I haven't been watching because I'm a bad friend. I'll try to join it next time you're streaming that. I always see it, like, what is this game? I always assume it's like some kind of, I don't know. Maybe it's like a full motion video adventure game from 1994. A CD-ROM game. That's what I assume. I don't know why I assume that. Maybe the numbers remind me of the seventh guest. The numbers in the title. Anyway, back to the game. Dash the Flash is going to try to hammer one out again. He has a 32 batting target, which basically means like a 320 average. And Stu says it's a DS game remade for PS4. Okay. All right. You know what I hate about I like these dice trays I have. I have like a whole set of them, but the black ones, especially when I have the Lambo heart, you see little specks of crap in it. It looks so disgusting. I swear that's not my dandruff. That's all under my hat. Anyway, I'm getting gross now. Oh, Dash the Flash has proven himself a solid solid hitter here. He rolled an 11, and the D8 from Kid Easton can figure into that. Let's roll the same kind of style D8 this time. I like this set of dice, and it kind of matches that logo I have at the top left, Saturday Night Gaming, with Mark W and Rob. Look at that; it's like the same thing. It's perfectly. It's a perfect fit. Same style. For some reason, I like it. It's a very attractive color scheme. The kind of yellowish gold with that reddish brown. I don't know what you call it. More reddish than brown for sure. That's an attractive color scheme to me. Anyway, I think my wife described that as tacky Long Island color scheme. But I'm a tacky Long Islander. She married me, so who has the bad taste, right? Her or me? All right, so I added 2, which isn't really gonna make a difference. The total is at 13, and we roll on the simple hit table for Dash the Flash. Will he hit one out of the park again? If he can do that, then his boasting will have been, correct, and I can't blame him. He does not hit it out of the park. He rolls a 9. But that is a single with runners advancing 2. There are no runners, so he just hits a single. And it's still good, 2 at-bats, 2 hits, one of them a home run. Dash the Flash. All right, Dash the Flash. We have to erase the last team's runners on the... Wow, how did I erase that one? I'm just going to draw a new one. Oh, that was the last guy. I have to draw a new one for Dash the Flash. He's awesome. He's I don't know. I was gonna draw him running or something. I realize I don't have any artistic talent, so we're gonna go with that. And once again, I'm writing in the wrong box here. It should be here. There. Now we're getting it right. The 3 column is where I wanted to draw it because we are in the 3rd inning. All right, so we got a hit for Dash the Flash, and Khaki Campbell comes in with his or her 330 average. That is quite impressive. 86. That is not quite impressive. Khaki flails at it or does something. Let's see. Adding in the DH for the pitcher. And that becomes a total of 91, and a 1 on the out table means a strikeout. So a big K for the flailing Khaki. That's pretty appropriate. His name has a bunch of K's in it. Khaki gets a K. All right, Khaki the K. Joseph Myers is going to try to advance Dash the Flash with a 29 batting target. Rolled an 87. Boo. We added the D8 for the heck of it. I mean, in a sense, it doesn't really matter once you roll that high, but I'm just playing it by the book. So we can look at the out table correctly. So that is a 9 on the out table, which is a fly out to right field. So F9 for Joseph Myers, and we have 2 outs for the Peacocks. They have their 1 runner on. Dash the Flash is like, come on, I'm carrying the team, guys. At least get a single, get a rally going here or something. I guess it's not a rally if they're already winning, right? So what's the right term for it? Let's put some more runs on the board. Catherine Burke trying to show the world that she can play with the big boys. So far, it's not really worked out for the ladies. So I respect their moxie for sure. Oh, look at that. She might actually have a hit. I might have spoken too soon. An 11 for Catherine Burke. And Kid Easton, the pitcher, figures in his D8. And it becomes a 13. So that is a roll on the basic hit table. Catherine Burke, let's see what you can do. A 10. That corresponds to a single with runners advancing 2. She has moved Dash the Flash to 3rd base, and she herself is on 1st. So we're gonna write dash the Flash. He's gonna have a lightning bolt over him. He's the Flash. There we go. Dash the Flash. All right. So runners on the corner, 2 out. And what do I write here? I write single. Is there a separate single for a single with moving runners too? Or let me check that real quick. Doesn't look like it. That's fine. We'll just keep going. All right. So Mark Wheeler, the first baseman, trying to get that run in, trying to not dash the Flash. And he's probably a fast runner, dash the Flash. Can he possibly even steal home plate? Well, we don't have stealing in this version of the game, so that remains a mystery for now. Stu says, Catherine is a friend of mine. He uses he, him pronouns. Please don't misgender it. No. Well, I mean, she should change her name if she's going to be a him. No, I think we are playing, intersex or whatever the term is. Intersex sounds, yeah, I don't think that's the right term. But Mark Wheeler with his 29 batting target rolled a 43, so that's not going to do it. And we add the D8 for Kid Easton, the pitcher. It becomes a total 46. A 6 on the out chart is a 6-3 grounder. 6 being the shortstop. So unfortunately, that shortstop just killed their little attempt to score here. Mr. Flash was leaning this far because he's the Flash, right? He was leaning pretty far, getting ready to run home. But alas, it did not happen. But that's 2 more hits for what that's worth. There was 2 hits, right? Yeah. So we can add to the scoreboard. You can tell they're doing a little bit better, right? See, after 3 innings, the Grackles have no runs on 3 hits, no errors, and the Peacocks have 1 run on 5 hits, no errors. All right. So the question is, do I keep playing as is, try to integrate some more advanced rules into the game, or call it a stream? Those are pretty much my 3 options. I might just play a little bit longer like this. I'm having fun even if it's so simple and I don't make any decisions. I'm going to do at least 1 more inning, let's say. But feel free to chime in if you guys think it's boring or not, or whatever you think. I would like to try the more advanced rules. I just kind of wish I knew them all ahead of time because it's going to be a lot to figure out. I mean, most of it probably isn't that bad, and especially if you have a feel for how baseball works. And a lot of this manual is about like getting into really crazy stuff, like the ancient era versus a modern era, and how to use, like, I don't know. Some of it's like recaps of fictional leagues playing. I mean, you don't need most of this manual. In other words, or like about half of it, but it does have some pretty interesting details, like aging rules. You can keep track of how each fictional player ages, and they with each season they age a year, and you roll d6 on the aging table to see what happens to them. Like here's that chart. Sometimes there's no change. I guess they aged gracefully. But sometimes these things can increase. Oh, okay. Interesting. Oh, look at this. Because there's a modifier depending on their age, right? You can increase or decrease. So if you're like in this age range of 18 to 23, you could actually mature. So that, it kind of weights it. Like, right. It kind of weights the roll on the aging chart. So you're more likely to actually kind of mature if you're in the age range of 18 to 23 and get an increase to your batting target, or OBT. I don't know what OBT is. I guess it's a different kind of batting target number that I'm not using yet. That's kind of interesting. Then once you get to like 40, you're subtracting 7 on your roll. So it's like, even if you roll a perfect 12 on these two 6-sided dice, you would have a decrease in their batting ability. And you can, that's right. In the more advanced game, they have positive traits, but you can lose them as you age. That's pretty cool. And Stu says, I don't watch the stream for the interest level of the game. I watch the trolls, so if the games are bad, that works well. Okay. Stu is honest at least. Yeah, so I'll run through one more inning, then I'll try to play a little more advanced. But yeah, I haven't played this before, so I have to figure it out. So you'll have to bear with me as I do that, and hopefully you can enjoy learning with me. If you don't, then it'll probably be boring for you. I don't know what else to say. All right, so top of the fourth, Crackle's looking to put just one run, hopefully more than that for them, but they're looking to at least put on one run on the board. And stepping up to plate is Joseph English. I guess I should use the 4 column. Joseph English has a 26 batting target, which is about a 260 batting average. Joseph English rolled a 42, the secret to the life, universe, and everything. The opposing pitcher adds a D4 because he's an okay-ish pitcher. They add the 4, it becomes a 46. That's an out. Ground to shortstop, 6-3. That's our first out. Joseph English not doing much this game so far. Michael Stahl, our third baseman for the Grackles. He got a base on balls last time. Maybe he's a patient batter. Not this time. This time he gets a 76. We add the D4 for the pitcher. It becomes an 80. And a 0 means a strikeout. So a big K for the less than patient this time, Michael Stahl. And the Grackles already have 2 outs right away. But coming to the plate to save the game for the Grackles is none other than Buford Fats, the catcher with a 20 batting target. Buford Fats. I always drop dice. The rule, if I play a game with dice, I have to drop them on the floor at least about 5 times. Whether I'm on stream or not, by the way. Anyway, Buford Fats looking to make something happen. You can do it, Buford Fats. A 97 for Buford Fats. I think if the total is over 100, it should have like a hilarious result. But let's see if he can get over 100. The pitcher adds in his die, and it becomes, look, that's a 3. Becomes a 100. Good God, Buford Fats. Yeah, I'm even looking at this thing. There's nothing to look at. Yeah, well, I guess it's a K, right? The 0 for the 100. All right, so it's a strikeout for Buford Fats. And the Grackles go down in order. No hits, no nothing. They suck. All right. Now, the bottom of the 4th inning. We're at the kind of bottom half of the order for the Peacocks. Up comes Hawkins and Trekken, the shortstop with a 23 batting target. Yeah, Buford buttface. Buford Fat sucks. 31. For another player, that might have worked out, but it's not going to work out for Hawkins and Trekken with his 23. And we add the D8 as well for the other batter. The other pitcher, Kid Easton, adds a 4. That becomes 35. Last digit 5 on the out table means a 5-3 play. So it's a grounder to third base. And that is, where are we writing here? That's 1 out. Up comes Terry Caniff, 24 batting target. That's our center fielder. A roll of 78, that's an out. The pitcher adds the D8, and that becomes a total roll of an 83. The 3 means a grounder to first base for Terry Caniff. And once again, these pitchers are just knocking them dead left and right. Sam Fischel, the catcher, is going to try to make something happen with 2 outs in the bottom of the 4th inning. His target number is a 25. Can he do it? He got a nice double last time. Maybe he can do something. If 44 is not going to do it, especially when we add in the pitcher's roll of a 7, that's a 51. Last digit 1 means a big fat K for Sam Fischel. And yeah, that fourth was 1, 2, 3 for both sides. Fourth inning was 1, 2, 3 for both sides. So that's our score after 4 innings. 1-0 Peacocks. All right. I'm thinking of doing it. Should we get into the more advanced game? I'm going to try. I don't know if I'm going to figure out the game in a reasonable amount of time, but I guess we'll find out if I can do that. So that was 4 innings of the Quick Start Guide, which is the simple AF version of the game. So what I'm thinking of doing is, I'm going to try to not. Well, maybe for the heck of it, I will create characters. I don't know. So this is the play mat for the more advanced version. And again, you don't have to use every single rule. It's kind of like you mix and match it however you want. But here's some of the differences you can see off the bat is the pitchers drop a level, the pitcher die level. That's what PD means. Under any of these circumstances, if they allow 3+ runs in an inning, if they allow 4+ runs over 2 innings pitched, for every run allowed over 4 runs, and for every inning pitched past 6. So actually, none of those conditions were true in our last game yet. So really, all of our pitchers would have been solid still. That's for the starting pitchers, though. There's also the concept of relief pitchers. And in this game, they drop a pitcher die level for every run allowed, and if they pitch more than 1 inning. Yeah, so the starters are like your marathon runners, and the relievers are like the sprinters. That's how I like to think of it. So they can't pitch a lot of innings usually. The relievers. Anyway, pitchers gain a level if they strike out the side. I guess they get pumped up, or they go 3 innings pitched without allowing a run. Maybe they're just in the zone or something, or they escape a bases loaded jam. That's pretty cool. You do see in real baseball the pitchers, they get out of a jam and they're like like flipping out. They get so excited. All their teammates are high-fiving them and everything. All right, that's one major difference you can see off the bat. We also have the advanced hit table. And you got your base stealing. Defense looks about the same. I think it's the same. You have the swing result table. Now that's different. You have critical hits, ordinary hits, walk, productive out, possible double play. Interesting. All right, so let's try to figure this out. If you don't like reading rules or going, somebody else going over rules, I don't know how long it's going to take. I'm going to try not to take a massive amount of time, but I have a feeling it's going to take at least 15 minutes or so. That's just a warning. Anybody watching. But let's skip ahead and get to it. Keeping score. I think keeping score probably doesn't play much differently. Your dead ball career begins at the top of the 2nd inning okay, I guess they're using this as an example. And we have at the plate of the Knoxville Grackle shortstop Mac McClintock facing off against Tallahassee's exquisite Walter Birdsong. Okay, so we have to consider handedness, I guess. Kind of just don't want an example like this. So let's get to the rules. Oh, these kids know how to play. Can I ask them? This is young Clyde Shaw Jr. and Ryan Fisk work on the fundamentals. I don't know who they are. Sorry. Brant McCone legs out single against Amber B. Morris. Here we go. The rules. This section provides all the rules required to play games set in the modern era. Okay. Rules for the ancient era follow on page 50. Let's go with the basics. Modern era is good. Learn how to create lineups of real or fictional players. Let chapter 3 be your guide. Okay. I'm thinking as much fun as it would be to create my own guys, maybe I'll just go over the new rules or the more advanced rules, but I can reuse these guys for the last game. Maybe I don't know. I might need more players actually than 9 with the more advanced game. You might need like a 25-man roster, and if you have to get into like switching out pitchers and stuff. Let's see what it says. Oh, here we go. Yeah, modern dead ball roster is made up of 25 players, 8 starting position players, 5 bench players, 5 starting pitchers, and 7 relievers. If you prefer to tweak these numbers, perhaps playing with a 4-player bench and an extra reliever, that's up to you. And no one's going to stop you from making up your own rules. Each dead ball player is represented by the following attributes: the name, player's name. Nicknames are encouraged. Please note that though dead ball can be used to simulate real-life leagues that are segregated by sex, by default, all dead ball teams are open to players of any gender identity. Position, the player's position on the field, or if you choose to employ the designated hitter rule. Should I do the designated hitter rule? I don't know. Yeah, let's go for it, I guess. If you choose to employ the designated hitter rule, replacing the pitcher's spot in the lineup with a player off the bench, the DH. Handedness, the hand a player bats with. Position players can be right-handed, left-handed, or switch hitters, meaning they can bat from both sides of the plate. Pitchers pitch either right-handed or left-handed. Batter target, the number a batter must roll equal to or less than to get a hit. And we've seen that, of course, based on batting average, higher is better. On base target, this is a different one. The number a batter must roll equal to or less than to reach base, either via a hit or a walk. Excuse me, derived from on base percentage, higher is better. Okay. Pitched, I guess that's basically because, in the game we were just playing, it was that the walk would be if you had a roll of 5 or less greater than the batting target. I guess with the on base target, it allows some batters to be better at reaching base on a walk or not, because it would, for example, I think the way it would work is, maybe the guy has a batter target of 25, but he could have an on base target of 35. Let's say that's probably ridiculous for real life, but that would mean he has a 250 batting average, but a 350 on base percentage, so he would get a lot of walks. Pitch die, that's pretty much the same as what we just did, I guess. A die that represents a pitcher's ability ranging as high as D20 to as low as a negative D20 based on earned run average. May go up or down during a game depending on a pitcher's performance. Bonus traits, a representation of certain players' special talents or defects that allow their personalities to shine through. Consult the table on page 24 for a complete guide. Substitutions before the game starts. You may fiddle with your lineup to your heart's content, and moving players up and down and swapping them on and off the bench. Once the game starts, substitutions may be made according to the rules of baseball. To wit, the players on the field may switch positions freely, but the lineup remains fixed. Position players may be replaced by bench players at any time during the game, with the new player taking over both their spot in the batting order and their position in the field. This includes pinch hitting, replacing a player when it is their turn to bat, or pinch running, replacing them when they're on base. So, this is standard baseball rules, essentially. It doesn't have anything to do with special game mechanics. And, it's basically like, with that last game, I could have said, Kid Easton, the pitcher, is replaced by someone else, but that person would have to be the pitcher too. Hopefully I pick a relief pitcher and not a random outfielder or something to be the pitcher. But you can swap around positions freely, actually. If an infielder moves to the outfield or an outfielder to the infield, they're considered out of position. Okay. Treat them as poor defenders when rolling defense checks. So it's like a special thing. They have a poor defender designation if you move an outfielder to the infield or vice versa. A player's position is given as utility, may play any position besides pitcher without a defensive penalty. Yeah, there are some players that are described as utility players in real baseball. That means you can put them anywhere. Yeah, pitcher. Pitchers may be replaced at any time, either with another pitcher or with a pinch hitter. Unlike some real-life leagues, dead ball does not require pitchers to face a minimum number of batters. but you're welcome to employ that rule if you wish. Once a player leaves the game, they're not allowed to return. I remember someone at work that I used to work with. He loves soccer and hates baseball. So he would make fun of people who talked about baseball, and he thought it was so stupid that you could just pull out a pitcher if he's facing a batter he's bad against, and put in a pitcher that is good at facing that particular batter, or that their handedness matches up better. Anyway, here are the special traits. So yeah, in addition to those basic stats, your guys can have these special traits. Like a power hitter means +1 on the hit table. Elite power hitter is +2 on the hit table. And that means you've already rolled, right? That you made a hit, and the hit table is to resolve. Did you get a single, double, triple, home run? Contact hitter. On hit table rolls of 1 to 2, the batter doubles. Runner's advance. I'm not going to try to interpret all these. It's hard for me to imagine exactly what all this means. +1 when rolling to +10 to BTOBT when rolling for the hit and run play. Okay. Speedy runner. That's cool. Great defender. +1 when rolling for defense. Tough player. When rolling on the injury table, which is, yes, it is a thing, may reroll dice 1 time. Aging roll modifier never goes below -3. You can have a weak hitter, -1 on the hit table. Extra weak hitter, -2 on the hit table. Free swinger. Okay, there's penalties to hitting again. Low runner, -2 when rolling to steal. Or defender, -1 when rolling for defense. If a catcher, +1 to all opposing stolen base rolls. We have pitcher traits, strikeout artist, ground ball machine, control pitcher, great stamina. That means they can go an extra inning basically without losing their pitching die. Wild, +3 to opponent batters OBT. I forget what OBT means. Did they actually explain OBT yet? No, I guess they're going to explain it here. The at bat. Okay, so this top paragraph we already know. He rolled D100. You add the pitcher roll, and that's your modified swing score. Oddities. This is a new thing. An oddity is anything out of the ordinary that may occur during a baseball game. This includes relatively common incidents like blown calls, injuries, and passed balls, and freak occurrences like fan interference and animals on the field. That's funny. Oddities are optional. No, that sounds fun. Let's do it. Hits, defense, and walks. If the MSS is higher than the batter target but less than or equal to the on-base target, the batter advances to first on a walk. If the MSS is less than or equal to the battle target, it's a hit. To find out what happens next, roll a d20 in the hit table. Higher is better. Okay. So if you notice, this is more complex than the basic hit table because there can be like a single where the first base defender makes his roll, or the second base defender makes his roll, and that's probably when things like these abilities would come into play, right? Like, well, if you hit it to the poor defender, then it would be a -1 their defense roll. Swing result table. So this is trying to understand when you roll on this swing result table. Okay, so the hit table is when you actually have determined you have hit the ball. This is just right. Okay, this is just the ordinary, roll to hit. It's more complex than just the last one, but it's cool. It opens up a lot of interesting possibilities. Productive out sort of thing. So it's like, you fly out, but you've hit it deep enough that some other runners can advance. The oddity is if you roll a 99. Excuse me. You can have oddity on a roll of 1 as well. Okay. You can have a critical hit. If you really make solid contact, so you roll a d20 on the hit table, increase hit by 1 level, single to double, double to triple, etc. Ordinary hit. Walk, possible. All right, that's cool. I think you can handle it. It's not really that much more complex so far. Just the charts are a little more in depth with more possibilities. Results that call for defense give a fielder a chance to make a spectacular play. Excuse me. Or a gruesome error. Roll a d6 on the specified fielder on defense. D12, did I say D6? D12. If they're a great defender, add 1 to the roll. If they're a poor defender, subtract 1. In her second at bat, Ramsey's MSS is a 14. Another hit on the hit tail. And I understand it. I don't need to go over that. MSS of 5 or less is a critical hit. Bonus rate should be applied before increasing the level of the hit. Short. Errors and outs. Here's our out table. Okay. The MSS is 1 to 5 points higher than the OBT. The play may result in an error. Okay. OBT. That's the all right, the on base. Okay. I'm getting it. I'm sorry if I'm not explaining it all super well, but sorry. How do we do sack flies here? Higher the MSS, the worse the result is for the batting team. Turn even on outs. If there are less than 2 outs and the ball hits the outfield or the right side of the infield, runner on second or third. Okay, this is it's a little complicated there. I'll have to look that up. Sack fly. Do you choose to do a sack fly or? I guess not. It's just an outcome that can happen. Here's the example. Denise Atkins comes to the plate with a runner on third. She rolls an MSS of 67, a long fly ball to left. When the left fielder catches it, the runner at third tags up and scores on a sacrifice fly. If the MSS had been 77, the ball would have been too shallow for a sac fly. The runner would have stayed. But why is that 77 is... Okay, I'm not getting that part, but a sack. Okay, a sack fly can only happen if the MSS is less than 7. Yeah, that's one of those odd rules that's like hard to keep in your head. But so far, that's pretty much the only one I think that we've encountered. Like, you know, some weird magic number you have to remember and stuff. I think it's okay. Fielder's choice in double plays. If there's a runner on first, a ball hit into the infield gives the chance for the defense to turn a double play. Once again, the higher the MSS, the worse it is for the batting team. Right. On an MSS of less than 50, the runner at first moves up to second while the batter is thrown out. On MSS 50, between 50 and 69, the runner is at first is out and the batter is safe on a fielder's choice. Trying to think of the this is mentioned in the chart. I think it's on the chart, right? I don't sort of remember all this stuff. Yeah, it's okay. Yeah, I think it's basically here. Where does it mention double play? I don't know. Oh, here we go. Here's no, it's double and shoulder. Let me read that again. MSS less than 50. The runner moves up. Runner at first moves up into second while the batter is thrown out. On MSS between 50 and 69, the runner at first is out and the batter is safe on a fielder's choice. On 70 or higher, both the runner at first and the batter are out on a double play. Okay, so looking at 50 to 69. Here, I'm hoping it's clear on the chart. Yeah, it is. Okay. Okay, so it is all on the chart. So it's kind of just over-explaining the chart in my view. I guess it's explaining what some of the outcomes mean, like a double play or whatnot. All right. Let's get into base running. Let's get to the important stuff. You can roll a d8 to try to steal second or D8 -1 to steal a third and find the result on the base stealing table. Only speedy runners can attempt to steal home. Attempt a double steal in which runners at first and second attempt a simultaneous swipe of second and third. Roll D8 on the double steal table. If the leading runner is a speedy runner, add 1 to the roll. If they're a slow runner, subtract 1. All right. Essentially just roll here and make the appropriate adjustments. Bunting. You can bunt. There's a bunt table on 33. Okay. Oh, yeah. And there's a hit and run play you can try. Speaking of small ball, there are a few plays more exciting than the hit and run, in which a manager orders the batter to swing at the next pitch no matter what, allowing a base runner who's attempting to steal to take 2 bases with a price of 1. Okay. If it works, you get runners at the corners. If it fails, it's usually a double play. To put on the hit and run in dead ball, roll for a stolen base, applying all normal modifier. At the same time, you roll for the MSS. In order to reflect the advantage given to the hitter by the runner's attempted steal, add 5 to the BT/O. Is like again getting into special stuff. Or 10 if the batter is a C+ hitter. Okay. I'll just come to that when I want to do a hit and run, I guess. Bunting, yeah. Okay. Here's a hit and run. Pitching. Righties and lefties. So this top part is just explaining the pitch die, which you already knew. Righties and lefties. When a righty pitches to a righty or a lefty to a lefty, bump their pitch die up a level. Oh, that's cool. For starting pitchers, this advantage cannot take them higher than a D12 pitch die. For relievers, it can carry them all the way up to D20. Pitcher fatigue, and we've kind of gone over this already. There are the 3 conditions in which a pitcher can fatigue and go down a pitch die. Oh, there's more than just... sorry, this is when they gain them. A player gains a level if they pitch 3 consecutive scoreless innings, strike out every batter faced in an inning, escape a bases loaded jam, and they lose a level if they allow 3+ runs in an inning, they allow 4+ runs over 2 innings, or for every run allowed over 4, for every inning pitched past 6. These effects stack. Relief pitchers tire more quickly. So for every run allowed, for every 3 outs recorded, they go down a pitch die level. Between games. If you want to get into like a whole, season or something, you have to keep track of on which days the pitcher pitched so you can, give them proper rest. Otherwise, they go down pitcher dice. The opener. In recent years, the line between starter and reliever has blurred, particularly during the postseason. To open a game with a reliever, simply write the reliever's name in the lineup and start play. Apply fatigue as normal for a relief pitcher. Interesting. Mop-up duty. You choose a relief. On days when your starting pitcher gets knocked out early, you may choose a relief pitcher for mop-up duty, giving you several lower quality innings in order to spare your bullpen. Okay. You may do this only once per game. If everything goes horribly wrong and you choose to insert a position player to pitch, their pitch die starts at -20. You cannot pitch more than a single inning. That is hilarious. It's fun when you see that in a real MLB game. Position player throwing these like 50-mile-per-hour pitches. Season play. I'm not going to get into season play. Look at these people. The Yellow Stockings owner, W.F. Leitch. Furnished work to umpire a game between local youths. Okay, Thinking I might be ready to play. I just don't know how to get my team together. Should I roll up people? Should I just roll up players? I have one viewer again. Woohoo! I think I'm gonna roll up players. I'm gonna make them up, and I need you guys or you guy to help me come up with names. Look, look at some of these. This is fun. The oddities table. I like this. Animal on field, rain delay, fielder appears injured, pitcher fan interference. Toot bland. What is toot bland? Lead runner thrown out on the base path like a nincompoop. If no runner on base, batter tagged out. What does that stand for? I gotta look it up. It must. Well, let's just find out. Toot bland. It's an acronym that stands for thrown out on the bases like an nincompoop. Okay. It's literally a definition for it on MLB.com. It's a very official term, apparently. Any non-force out a player makes on the bases, including outs made while attempting to take an extra base, outs on would-be sacrifice flies, pick-offs, double-offs, fielder's choice outs with an open man. I'm not going to get into everything. Toot bland. That's interesting. Toot bland. Pick-off. So you don't actually do something like roll for a pick-off per se. It would be one of these oddities that could happen. Call blown at first, call blown at home plate, hit by pitch, wild pitch, pitcher distracted, dropped third strike, passed ball, current batter appears injured, previous batter appears injured, pitcher error, a balk, catcher interference. Okay, injuries. Ooh, you got your injury table, so you get to roll the injury location. I could use one of my body part dice for this, not really, but I bought these dice once for a game I was designing, and it's just kind of a fun die I'm going to show you. It's a body part die to determine a random body part. And it's kind of has more outcomes for the more larger body parts, like the torso has I think 4 of them. There's also like right leg, right arm, left leg, head. I think that's kind of funny. Anyways, what the hell was I doing? I was reading the manual is what I was doing. Yeah, it's already after 11. I'm gonna be so tired by this time I actually start playing. All right, why don't I try to get some players rolled up? See if I can make that happen, and just try to jump into it and see what I can do. I guess this is where you do it. You're gonna generate. All right, it's gonna be fun. I think we have to roll 25 players. Though. That's a lot. Okay. Let me see what I'm gonna do. I gotta write it somewhere. All right. I'm gonna call my team. Let's see. I have to roll up the opposing team too, I suppose. So I have to roll up 50 players. What am I doing? I must be nuts. All right. I'm not going to do the Long Island Ducks, but we're going to do the Long Island Awesomes. All right. Versus the Boston Bozos. Cool. Now that we have our team names, we can roll up some characters. So here's how you do it. I'm not going to do age. I don't even want to think about that. Worry about mid-season replacements. When creating a new team, use only top prospects. Okay. How do we do that? Okay, I guess that means I choose this. Okay. All right, so this is how you do it. All players are these things. Then on top of that, for position players, you roll these 3 things. And for pitchers, they're special. You have to roll. Oh, no, you don't roll 3 things. Okay, I got it. Depends on the type, right? So I'm going to say top prospect everywhere, basically. Top prospect position players. They roll 2d10 plus 15 for what? Oh, that's their batter target. Oh, got it. Okay. Duh. And the pitchers have their pitch die. Their own batter target, which is low and on base. Okay. And then you roll. It's kind of weird. If I'm rolling position, I could wind up having a roster of like all utility players or like all left fielders or something, couldn't I? You would think you would be like you define slots for each position, sort of. I don't know. Let's just go with it. And you roll the special traits. Top prospect earns a trait on first roll. Roll once more for a possible second trait. What does that mean? Possible second trait. Okay. 2d10 on traits table. Roll once more for a possible second trait. If they I think I get it. All right. I'm overthinking it. Let's just roll for. Let's just go for. All right. The Long Island Awesomes. We have a. We have to roll a lot of stuff here. It's kind of crazy. It's kind of fun though. We'll see if I get tired by the time I roll the 50th player. So we gotta roll up 25 on each team. I guess, again, you could always make it your own game and just make, I don't know, you could just make 15 players if you want or something, I suppose. But I feel like I would wind up having like too few players. Like I might be missing a right fielder or something like that, or only have one possible right fielder. It's a lot of people, 25. Holy crap. I feel like I'm going to be here the rest of the night. You know what? I'm sure it goes quickly once you get in the hang of it. Just like a couple rolls, really. All right, it's 25 all the way to the bottom of my paper. All right, Long Island Awesomes versus the Boston Bozos. Let's roll myself first. Mark W. Position assign as D. Oh, you can do it either way. You can assign positions as needed or roll. Let's just roll. Let's just roll. That sounds fun in its own really silly way. Maybe I should try to get both on the screen. Let me try to do that. It's probably more fun or more interesting to see both of them. Let's get you up there. All right. Maybe like ideally I could crop that thing on the right. Actually, let's put this. That maybe. No, I'm gonna start on the left like this. Here we go. Oops. Okay, you'll have to deal without my face for a minute, I think. Come on, grab the other thing. It won't let me grab the other thing. There we go. All right, we're gonna go like this. Okay. There we go. We can put my face here if you really want to see that. Okay. So we're gonna roll the position for Mark W first. This is bonkers. I love it. We need a D20. All right, Mark W is a starting pitcher. Look at that. I'm a starting pitcher, everybody. All right, SP. I think I'll know what that means. And now what do? I roll. Because I'm a pitcher, I'm a modern top prospect. I'm going to say D8 on the modern PD table. Okay. Modern PD table is right here. So it says D8 or D8 plus 2. Why would I get plus 2? I also have to roll these things that all players get, I guess. why don't I start with that? So we got the position, get the handedness, D10 on the handedness table. So 1 to 6 is right-handed, 7 to 9 is left, and 10 is a switch hitter. Our pitchers are left. For pitchers, it only counts the left hand. You can't have a switch hitter pitcher. Apparently, they're apparently an abomination against nature. You cannot have that happen. Okay, let's get our D10 out. Here's a random D10. Okay, that is 6, a right-handed pitcher. Okay, and next up, age. We're a prospect, so we're gonna go with age D6 plus 18. I wish I would be beyond the max value of the maximum possible roll for an old timer is what I would be in real life. I'm such an old timer. All right, anyway, D6 plus 18 is what I am. In this game, I am a 20-year-old. Wouldn't that be nice? You know what? Maybe I shouldn't bother with the ages since I'm not doing aging rules. It's just another thing to roll. And yet it is kind of fun. So I'll go with it. 20 years. Trying to cram in all the data I can and be clear about it. Not sure if it's going to work. I'll try the RH for art. Right-handed. 20 years. And then I roll traits. D20 on the traits table. Okay. Sorry, not D20. 2D10. Okay. Let's get our 2D10. We'll roll you and you. That is a 3. So that is P minus for batters and none for pitchers. Okay, so I have no traits. If top prospect earns a trait on the first roll, roll once more for a second. So I didn't roll any traits. I don't know if I'm a top prospect or just a prospect. It said for creating a new team, only use top prospects. Fine. So I have no traits. And now I roll as a pitcher. Modern top prospects, a D8 on the modern PD. All right, so I'm rolling here. Yeah, hopefully this will come quickly once I get the hang of it. But I rolled a 5, which puts me at a D4. Okay. So that means my DP, or the PD, my pitch die, is a D4. And I think I still have to roll for my batting target as a pitcher and the OBT on base target. So D6 plus 12 and then a D8 to that for my on base. 2D6 plus 12 for my batter target. It is 19. That's not bad for a pitcher, I suppose. Means basically I have a 190 batting average. It's kind of a little tight to cram in all this stuff. BT 19 and OBT. This is the last thing I need to cram in here, though. Is that 19 plus a D8, which is 8. So I actually get on base pretty decently. That's a 27 on base target. Actually, I have a 270 on base percentage as a pitcher. That's pretty good. Hey Eric, how's it going? I guess you are the remaining viewer. Eric says I like the team names. Yeah, we got the. Thank you. We have the Long Island Awesomes versus the Boston Bozos. Yeah, this is gonna take a while though. Jeez. All right, you're up next on the Long Island. I know you're probably not on Long Island, although I don't remember where you're from, but you're on the Long Island Awesome. Nonetheless, come take a plane here. You've been drafted. All right, Eric J. Let's roll your position. It's a D20. Where's that position chart? Here we go. You are a 12. You're a starting pitcher as well. Okay. Starting pitcher. And your hand, we roll a D10 for that. How's my camera looking here? All right. D10. If I can fit it all here without moving things around, that would be best. Maybe I'll just not use this tray. Right through your hand, you got a 10. You're a switch hitter, but for pitchers, it's only left-handed. Boo. So we've kind of wasted that special roll. You're a left-handed pitcher, and your age is D6 plus 18. So you are 21 years old. We are a nice, youthful team. Next, we roll traits. 2d10 on the traits table. You got a 7, which is none. Boo. And then we roll your PD, which is your pitcher die. Take a D8. That is a 6. That means you are a D4 pitcher, just like I am. Just kind of average, I guess. It's kind of surprising there's no D6 on the modern pitch die. It's either D8, D4, minus D4, or D12. Huh. Okay. Oh, why is their focus all crappy? Huh, whatever. Beat. It's gonna take so long. I feel like even if I get the hang of this, it's gonna take a while. BT is what for a pitcher? D6 plus 12. You know what? Even if I don't get to play the game, this is pretty fun, just rolling up the characters. So your BT is an 18, which is like a 180 batting average, and we add D8 to that for your on-base target, which is, you don't get much walks. You got a 19 on-base target, Mr. Eric J. All right, next up, we got Mr. Stu G. Stu for Stu's game reviews. Let's see what position Stu G plays. If you're in the chat and want to join the team, and you're not Stu or Eric, please chime in and I'll add you. What do we start with? Your position. D20. You are a 2. You're a catcher. Let's do the catcher. I always knew you were more like a catcher, Stu. Handedness. 9, which means left-handed. Age is, if I can remember the formula, it'll be, I think it's just D6 plus 18. We'll roll with that. You are 24 years old. Wouldn't it be nice to be 24 again? PD, you're not a pitcher, so you don't have a pitcher die at all, I don't think. Yeah, you don't have that. So we go to, this is our first non-pitcher position player. We roll your batter target. I guess I'll try to keep them lined up. The batter target is 2d10 plus 15. It's a lot better than what pitchers get. 2d10 plus 15. Not a good roll, though. That is a total of 18. You're as good as Eric is, and you're a position player. OBT is this plus 2d4, actually. Interesting. Okay, I got a couple of d4s here. And that adds up to a 6. You can't really see it with the camera, but that's what it is. Those Stu's OBT is 24. And we just keep doing the film. You know what? If I had known it was going to be like this ahead of time, I would have written a program to generate this. Maybe I should just see if the manual has some pre-made guys I can throw in here. I don't know. I can just rely on it. Even if it takes like 1 minute for each of these, by the time I generate 50, it's going to be nearly an hour later. And I think so far it's taking me like 2 or 3 minutes per player. Anyway, let me check the manual if there's like a bunch of pre-made guys I can just throw in here. Besides that one sheet that we already did that was kind of not showing, you know, all the stats because it was for the simple version of the game. So let me check that. I mean, I love the idea. It's a lot of fun just rolling up people and coming up with silly names and everything. But geez, it's a lot of people to roll up. And I could, you know, a reduced roster, but even then, still, you would need more than 9 each. You can't just get by with 9 if you're going to have substitutions. What am I doing? Is there they have a real players section? Maybe that's just how to convert real players. Like you take their stats and convert them to dead ball stats or something. Real players. Yeah, that's how you do it, basically. You can also generate teams of real players using Travis K. Jansen's tool. Okay, should we try that? Let me see what that looks like. Hey, NHL. Yeah, it's an interesting game. I was playing the easier version earlier, but now I'm playing like the full version and rolling up characters. There's so much to do, though. I don't know. But I did find this site. Let me share my web browser so you guys can see as well. I've got all this crap all over the screen. Didn't expect to be needing to share my web browser. Bear with me a minute. Okay, dead ball. Here we go. Here we go. So you can have a team creator here, custom team creator, player creator. Let's hit team creator. Select the year, 2020. So you can, wait, this is for real people? Okay. All right, we'll be a bad team. We'll be the Cincinnati Reds. Wow, look at this. So you have to add the selected ones. Okay. So let's say I just select them all for the heck of it. And all the pictures. Create team sheet, create team cards. What are these special options? Start average pitchers at PD at D0. Okay, I guess if you don't like D4 being the average, you can make them worse. Use advanced hit distribution and use league ERA midpoint. I'm just gonna go with what we got here. Team sheet. And it threw an error. It's broken code, and it's actually showing me their code. That's kind of a big no-no. And I mean, I'm a software developer by profession. If you had an error in your code, you don't want to show the code to the public. It's usually not considered very secure. I mean, obviously, depending on the kind of work you're doing. And this is just kind of a toy, not going to hurt anybody. But this is PHP code, and there's some kind of a bug in it. So, so much for that, saving me work. All right. Now I'm like thinking, what do I do next? My energy is winding down, my real world energy. The tool to help save my energy is not working. Well, I'm going to keep rolling characters until I pass out. Keep rolling players till I pass out. All right, the Long Island. Stu G. We got Mark W. Eric G. All right. Well, let's put the maker of the game in the game. He is W.M. Akers. We roll a d20. This is bizarre. I guess there's the scorecard generator. We don't care about the scorecard generator though. We want the player generator. I'm thinking they should really, I must be missing something. It really should be just a bunch of pages that are just like, here's a 25-man roster you can use. And it has all the stats. How could that not be here? Aha, it is here. Okay. I guess this is. I guess I'll just copy these things. This is probably a better way to write it than how I'm doing it. Just have these columns too. Okay. It's about time. All right, so hold on. Do we have both teams here or just one? Paducah, Redbirds. Let me see that one roster. Here we go. The Williamsburg Ospreys. Okay. Yeah, it is useful. We got these fictional players. I'm thinking how I want to do this. Do I want to print out these pages? That might be the quickest way for me to get going here. I gotta say, I don't consider myself sexist or anything or any kind of xenophobic. I oppose those things. I just don't think it's realistic though for like if we're trying to simulate real baseball for there to be mixed genders on the team. It just doesn't happen right now. Whether or not you think it should, it just isn't. That's not what reality is right now. Generally, I mean, I'm sure it happens on like local, town softball teams and stuff like that. But yeah. I don't know. I'm not going to complain about it. It doesn't really matter. So I'm going to print out these couple of pages. We got page 69. It's always funny how PDF pages will not always match the page number. You know what I mean? Print down the bottom. So 69 is the Williamsburg Ospreys, and 67 and 69. I'm gonna print them. They'll get something going at least. No, how do I? Can I just type 67, 69? Yeah, let's do 67 and 69 separately. You can see my printer and everything. No, you can't see it. Okay. It doesn't matter really. All right, let's get that page 67 going, and then 69. It's definitely a cool game. You have to be into baseball sim kind of stuff. It's fun. It takes some work. Ultimately, sometimes part of the reason for my streams is I just dedicated time to play some games, and sometimes they're solo tabletop games, which I would just never do otherwise. And I get to chat with cool people like you, Eric, too. Yeah, my printer is making a sound. Okay, it's just out of paper. It's cardboard. Where the hell is my paper? Okay, we got the Paducah Redbirds and the Williamsburg Ospreys printed out. Now, it would be more fun to make up our own silly names and including our own and everything. But hey, this will take us, this will get us playing the game before 3 o'clock in the morning. So this is probably a good thing. Yeah, we could always cross off names and put in our own if we really wanted to. Well, let's see. I gotta fix my stuff here. We don't need to see the preview anymore. We can just look at our camera once again. That's fine. All right, let's try to get something happening here. So, all right, yeah, that's good. It even says who's in the lineup already, so we don't have to worry about that. Who's our pitcher? Okay, choose from the rotation, I guess. We could change Nigel McCracken to Philip McCracken to be immature. No, so this is our lineup: 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Is there a DH? I guess not. I don't care. I'm just gonna go with the pitcher. Well, I guess you could. I don't know. I'll just go with the pitcher is hitting. Rotation. We'll say the first one is the pitcher, the starting pitcher for the team, and the same thing for the other team. Danny Rogers. Okay. Yeah, let's jump into it. How do we do? How do we do this? It's pretty much the same as before. Just the charts are more complicated, and we have some decisions we can make once in a while. All right, so let's zoom out a tiny bit just to fit this a little better. Okay. We have here where you're supposed to write all the players and stuff, but I won't do that because I have these sheets for them. And I guess let's begin. So that would mean I guess we should write who's the away team and the home. Away can be Ospreys. And home can be the Redbirds. Okay. That means the Ospreys are at bat first. So we start with Clyde Shawd Jr., the shortstop, with his BT of 31, which is pretty good, and OBT of 39. His traits are S plus. What is S plus again? I think that might be high speed. He's a speedy guy. Let me find the place where they talk about all the traits in the manual. S plus is speedy runner on a hit table roll of 1. Batter doubles. Runners advance 2. Do not roll for defense. On a hit table roll of 2, batter triples. Do not roll for defense. +1 when rolling to steal a base. Can attempt to steal home from third base. Roll D8 on a roll of an 8. Speedy runner steals home. That's kind of fun. Basically, only speedy runners can try to steal home, and if they do it, they only have a 1 in 8 chance of actually succeeding. That's kind of interesting. You do see that on rare occasion in real baseball. It does seem about right. It's like a rare thing to actually be able to pull off. Anyway, so we have our speedy runner. All right, so I guess we start off like how we did before. We roll our percentile dice. Got to get them together. And yeah, let's just do it. So Clyde Shaw Jr. rolls a 70, which is not great. And the pitcher for the other team is Gwendolyn Ellis, who has a pitch die of a 12. Wow. So Gwendolyn Ellis. Actually, both pitchers have a pitch die of 12. That's a whole D12, meaning they can add up to 12 to that roll. So they rolled an 11, making the total 81. So that is obviously an out. Where is the out table? Do we not have an out table anymore? Oh, you know what it is? It's the give me a second here. I think it's this, but it's very simplified from what they show in the. Wait, here it is. Roll the MSS D100 plus PD. Roll on HT with an asterisk. Oh, that's the hit table. Yeah, okay. An asterisk means if MSS is even. What? Shortstop fields ball. If odd, second base fields ball. Okay, I guess it matters in rare occasion, basically. Yeah, it matters here, I think. On the roll of a 7. Anyway. Wait a minute. Wait, I think I'm missing something still. You only roll on this if you actually hit. Okay, I think it's just that table that was in the manual. They just didn't reproduce it here. Let me find that. Kind of weird that it wouldn't be here, or at least a simplified version of it. Maybe it is the swing result table. I think. Let me find it in the manual and see if it kind of matches up with this. Oddities table. No, I scrolled down too much. Brr, 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 brr. Brr, 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 brr. Out table. Here we go. Swing result table. Yeah, that's this. Okay, so this is the simplified version, basically. Yeah, okay. So this is omitting. It's actually missing a lot of stuff. Omitting a lot of stuff, like the 1 and the 100 meaning the oddity. No, 99 being oddity. This is different, in other words. I'm gonna use what's in the manual. That sounds more fun. So anyway, I rolled a shoot. What did I even roll? I think it was a 70. No, I don't know. I had this up to 74. I'm gonna say I rolled 74, and I remember the pitcher rolled an 11, so I'll say it's 85, which means it is an out. That's all it is. Runners at second and third cannot advance on a fly ball. On a ball anywhere in the infield, both runner and at first and the batter are out. Yeah, so it's an out, but do we lose that whole flavor of like what kind of out it is? Like, it was the second baseman threw it to first or whatnot. That would kind of stink if the simple version had that, but the more advanced version doesn't. I don't know. Maybe that's where the star comes in. If MSS is even, SS field ball. If odd, the second base field. I don't know. I mean, it doesn't really matter too much. It's just an out. It feels weird, like the more advanced version of the game would lose some detail. Oh, they do have the out table in the manual. They just didn't show it here. Okay, that's kind of unfortunate because this thing makes me think like it's a solid summary of everything you need. But it's just totally omitting something. So there is the out table in the PDF that I have up. And it's kind of this. I think it's just the same, actually. Yeah, it's the same as in the simple version of the game. So I had a. I don't even remember what I had. Let's say it was I think it was an 85. So the 5 means it's a 5-3 play. Third baseman throws it to first. All right, so we got 5-3. Sorry, I'm confusing with how. Where do I keep? I guess I need another one of these. I'm gonna keep the record. Shoot. Can I just squeeze it in this one? Maybe I'll just try to squeeze it here. Okay, so what just happened? Clyde Shaw Jr., right? Hit into a 5-3 out. Let's write 5-3 on this. I'll just figure it out. I'll fudge it, basically. Wing it is the word I'm looking for. All right, so we have one out. Next up is Ryan Fisk with a 34 BT and a C plus trait, which means what exactly? I gotta look for C plus in the manual. That is a contact hitter. Do not roll for defense. On hit tables, roll of 1 or 2 battered doubles, runners advance 2, +1 rolling for bunt, +10 to BT/OBT when rolling for the hit and run play. Okay, so I'm just gonna swing like normal though, and roll them D10s. That is a 72. Another horrible outcome for the batter. We add the D12 for the pitcher. That becomes a 73. So that is last digit 3. It is a G3. So that is a ground ball to first base, basically. So Ryan Fisk is the second out for the Ospreys. And next comes Larry Buccioni. He's the center fielder, a switch hitter. Oh, you know what? I forgot to think about the handedness. I guess it didn't matter. The pitcher for the Redbirds is a righty. And so versus lefties, you leave it alone, basically. But if it's the same, there's like some kind of an adjustment. I'll have to look that up again. But switch hitter is batting lefty then. And that's a 31 BT for this batter. Right here. A 52. It looks like another out. And I need to have this swing result table printed out probably. 52 could be a productive out. Productive outs only apply though when there's anybody on base, right? So it doesn't matter. It's just an out. And we have to add the D12 actually. It becomes a 55, and that is a grounder to third base. It's another 5-3. So that's a 1-2-3 inning. A successful one for Gwendolyn Ellis, the pitcher of the Redbirds. And now the Redbirds lineup is at bat. Starting with KM Senor, the shortstop, bats lefty, BT 31, and the Ospreys put on the mound Danny Rogers, who has a PD of 12 and is a righty. All right, so once again, we just roll the percents. Let's see what KM Theonora can do. Rolls a 21. That could be the hit. You add the D12 for the pitcher. Ooh, it becomes a 31. Look at that. Just exactly equal to the BT. That's pretty cool. Looks like KM Theonora has a hit. Let me just check the chart here to be sure. Yeah, it's an ordinary hit, not a critical one or anything. So he rolls a D12. And bam, a 17. 17 on our advanced hit table here. That is double runners advanced 3, but we have no runners on. So therefore, KM Theonor is right here on second base with a double. And we write double over here. Okay, next up is Ken Packington. Ken Packington is our left fielder. A righty up against the righty pitcher. So that is some kind of a penalty to the batter that I don't remember. Gotta look that up again. I think it means they go up a pitch die. I gotta find this. All right. When a righty righty pitches to a righty or lefty to a lefty, bump their pitch die up a level. Yeah, so D12 goes to a D20. Wow. Okay. So Ken Packington has to deal with that D20 from the pitcher getting added. Good thing he has a good BT of 34. He rolls a 71, unfortunately. And then the D20 for the pitcher. It becomes an 83 altogether. Let me check this swing result chart. I'm pretty sure it's just a standard out. Swing result. Yeah, that's an out. And the 3 means it was a grounder to first. Okay, Neil Treadray is a lefty, so he doesn't have that same penalty that Ken Packington did. His BT is 30 and rolls an 18. That looks like it's going to be a pretty good hit. But D12 for the pitcher. Ooh, a 12. That turns it to a 30, which is, look at that. Just barely a hit again. A 30. Wow, that's pretty neat. So Neil Treadray has a hit. An ordinary hit, rolls a D20 on the hit table. Oh, a 20. That should be a homer, I believe, but let me just verify. That is a homer. Home run for Neil Treadray. Brings home KM Cianor. And it's a 2-0 game. So Neil Treadray. Okay. 2-0 Redbirds so far. There was no hits for the other team, right? Last time? Yeah, there was nothing there. It was 0, 0, 0. So far here we have 2, 2, 0. All right, so does this impact the pitcher? Yeah, I don't think it does. The pitcher will start to choke if something happens. If they allow 3+ runs in an inning. So if this pitcher gives up one more run, then his pitch die will go down a level. But so far he's only given up 2 runs. So he's still in it. So that's 1 out. Yeah, now up to bat is Chloe Ramsey. And again, it's a woman trying to show she can play with the boys. And 31 is her BT, 40 OBT. And you know what? Neil Treadray, I forgot to check what P++ means for him. Let's check that out. Hopefully it wasn't a thing that should have canceled his home run. Oh, oh wow. He's actually an elite power hitter. The ++ means add 2 to his hit table roll. So not only did he roll a 20, he went off the charts. He rolled a 22, basically. So that was a beyond a no doubter. That was like a 450-foot home run or something. I don't know. Basically, the best possible or the most hardest hit you could possibly get in this particular game was what he just did. All right, so Chloe Ramsey, again, trying to show she can hang out with the boys. And she's got a BT of 31. She is a D+, which means great defender. Doesn't really matter for the purpose of this role. She rolled a 96. What a horrible at-bat she has. 96 is what she rolls. And we add the D12 for the pitcher. And it becomes a 98. This might be something special. Let's check out this chart. 98. Swing result. Oh, it's not an oddity because you need a 99 for it to be an oddity. It's just an out. All right, so 98 is center field. It was a fly out to center field F8. And that is that. Madison Stewart is up at bat. Is Madison male or female? We don't know. Madison Stewart is our center fielder, lefty, so he is going to no, that's fine because the pitchers are righty. Okay, so they have no special traits. Madison Stewart. BT is 27, OBT is 36. Rolls a high 78. And adding in the pitcher PD, pitcher die, that becomes an 83. That's definitely an out. And 3 means it is a grounder to first base. G3 is what we write. And that is it for the Paducah Redbirds. But they did score 2 runs on a nice home run from Neil Tredre, who hit that thing, I'm saying 450 feet. That was a no-doubter for sure. All right, so top of the second inning, the Williamsburg Ospreys are back up at bat, and they are putting off their fourth guy, who is R.K. Dawley. R.K. Dawley is a lefty, and a BT of 33, OBT of 41. Trait is P+. What does that one mean again? That means, oh, it's a power hitter. So it's not an elite power hitter, but a power hitter. So let's roll. That was a 3. What a roll. Holy crap. A 3. 0 for the 10s die and 3 for the 1s die. But we do have to add the pitcher, the opposing pitcher's D12 into that. Let's see what she rolls. A 6, that becomes a 9 overall, which on the swing result chart means what? I think unfortunately it's just a regular hit. Yeah. You need 2 to 5 to get a critical hit, so still not quite good enough to get a critical hit, but nonetheless, D20 on the hit table and adding 1 because it's an elite, a power hitter, not an elite power hitter, just a regular power hitter. We take our giant D20. Oh my goodness, a 19, and that gets upgraded to a 20 for being a power hitter. So that is a home run, a 1-run home run for R.K. Dawley. All right, so he does his victory lap around the bases, and we draw in the symbol. We put 1 on the board for the Ospreys, thanks to R.K. Dawley. And this D20 feels like it's loaded or something. I don't know. That's pretty impressive. Okay, so it's a difference of 1 run between these two teams right now. And 1 run here, 1 hit there. Next up is the number 5 batter, Obi Tangier, left fielder who's a righty. That's going to hurt him against the pitcher who's a righty as well. BT 33, OBT 40, trait D+, which means that we looked it up earlier. That means they're a good defender. Doesn't matter for at-bats. We roll our percent dice. And that is a 2. Oh my goodness, another crazy low roll. Low is good in this game. 2. And as long as this, unfortunately, the pitcher is going to spoil his fun, with a D20. Because of the handedness, right? Righty versus righty is in favor of the pitcher. The pitcher upgrades their die from a D12 to a D20. So it's unlikely that he'll get a critical hit, sadly, because I want to see what happens when that happens. But if this is a 3 or less, it'll still be a critical hit. 18 is not a 3 or less. So therefore, we have a roll of 20, which is still a hit. It should be a hit, right? Yeah, it's a basic hit. So rolling on the hit table over here, it is a, this die is like loaded. I mean, how many times we rolled 17, 18, 19, 20? Anyway, there's a double with runners advancing 3. There are no runners. So that means AB Tangier makes it onto second with a double. Excuse me. We draw a little double symbol here. Next up is Nadia Moya. Yeah, once again, we are letting the ladies play. Nadia Moya is our catcher, actually. She's a righty, so she'll suffer the wrath of the pitcher. BT 30, OBT 35, and no special traits. So we roll the percent dice once again. And that is a 13. That is a good hit too. But the D20 from the pitcher adds in righty versus righty, upgrades the pitcher's die from a D12 to a D20. And only rolled a 5, however. So 18 is just an ordinary hit, I believe, once again. Yeah, ordinary hit. Roll the D20 for the hit table. A 6, that is a single, but the shortstop had a chance to defend. Okay, so that doesn't happen too often, it seems like. So let's see how this defender thing works. Defense. It's okay. It looks like it's about the same as in the simple version of the game. Yeah, the same chart. So we roll a D12 for the shortstop. All right, Eric, thanks for hanging out once again. I'm sure I'll see you next time. Take care, man. I'm probably going to wrap this up because it's pretty late for me too. But let's at least finish the inning. Anyway, rolling in the defense for the shortstop. He tries to pull off some slick moves. Rolls an 11. Hit goes down a level. Double reduced to a single. Did I get a single? Yeah, I did get a single. Double reduced to a single. Runners advance 2. Oh, runners advance 2, triple, reduced to a double. Runners advance 3, single remains a single. Okay, so it's still a single. That's pretty good, though. So we put our runner who was on second over on third. And we have one on first. So runners on the corners, as they say. And that was a single that we're going to write down for Nadia Moya. Next up is the second baseman, Anthony Mack. He is a righty, so suffers from the righty versus righty matchup. The opposing team's pitcher is once again Gwendolyn Ellis. So their pitcher die of a D12 gets upgraded to a D20. Anthony Mack has P+, which means he is a power hitter. Not an elite power hitter, but a power hitter nonetheless. We roll our D100, and a 50 does not look great. The pitcher's die figures in. It becomes a 61. That should be an out of some sort, but we do have the 2 runners on the corner, so it might be something special. It's a productive out. How many outs we got this inning? We have none. Okay. The productive out. On a ball in the outfield, or the... You have to read how this works. This is where it gets a little complicated. It says, on a ball in the outfield or to the right of the infield, runners at second. Okay, so I have to determine, as usual, what kind of out it was. Runners at second or third advance. In that case, on a ball anywhere in the infield, runner at first is out, and batter is safe at first on a fielder's choice. Okay, so let's see. That was a 61 altogether. Last digit being 1 means a strikeout. Okay. So that was... You can't move runners on a strikeout, right? I guess they could steal, but that we're not stealing. It says on a ball in the outfield or to the right of the infield, blah, blah, blah. A ball anywhere in the infield, a runner is... Yeah, so we didn't... I don't think we can do anything productive with a strikeout. It's just a strikeout. So Anthony Mack strikes out. Next one is Joe Vader. Joe Vader, huh? He's Darth's brother. All right, looks like we are out of viewers. I'm just going to play till the end of this inning, probably. Joe Vader. Nothing special about Joe Vader. A righty. So once again, we'll suffer the righty versus righty penalty. BT 27, OBT 31. Let's roll. A 47. That's no good. And the pitcher adds in 12 for a 59. That becomes a right field. Okay, so that's a hit into right. Oh, not a hit, an out into right field, a fly out, which you write as F9. And that might be a productive out, though. What was the total? 59. Yeah, so on a ball in the outfield or to the right of the infield, it was the outfield. Runners at second and third advance. So that means our runner at third advances. Get runners on the corners, right? And that is a run scored. So this one scores. And that is 2 runs for the Ospreys with 2 outs. So a sac fly, basically. All right, so they got 2 outs, and back to the top of the lineup with Clyde Shaw Jr. Clyde Shaw Jr. trying to keep the inning alive. That's 2 runs scored. That's good for the Ospreys. Clyde Shaw Jr. hits it rolls a 19. As a lefty, the pitcher still gets to use only their 12, which is an 11, which is pretty good. 30, though, is a total. It is a hit. And what is the S plus again? They're good at... No, it's not stealing, is it? Let me check that. S plus is speedy runner. On a hit table roll of 2, batter triples. Do not roll for defense. Plus 1 when rolling to steal a base. They can attempt to steal home. Okay. Guess we just roll on the hit table then. A 3. Okay, so I didn't roll a 2. I did roll a 3. 3 is single, but the first baseman has a chance to defend. Okay. The first baseman. I have to remember to look up whether they have a D. They do. Look at this. This is something I didn't look up last time. I don't know if it would have mattered. But excuse me. Because their first baseman, Chloe Ramsey, has a D plus trait, that means they're a strong defender. And I think that means they roll +1 for defense. So they're gonna roll on this chart and add 1. The D12. They roll a 12. Well, okay, hit becomes out. All right. And runners hold. That's it. That is the end of the top of the second inning. And they got 2 runs on this should be 2 hits, right? Yeah, there was a home run. There are 3 hits actually. Okay, well, no one else is watching, and I'm really tired, so I'm gonna call it a night and call it a stream. That was fun though. Yeah, for anyone watching the archived version of this, yeah, if you like baseball, this could be a fun way to pass the time. You can also play this 2-player, by the way. It seems like mostly it plays the stuff. I mean, I didn't even try to do any of the, real decisions that could arise. So really, I was kind of just playing this as a pure, let's see what happens. Still, even with the more advanced game, but I could have done substitution. There was no reason for me to pull a pitcher yet, though. I could have, attempted a bunt or something. But most of the time you just swing like normal, so I didn't really see any need to do anything special. But that is that, and that was not my most popular stream, so maybe the jock side of nerdiness doesn't attract a lot of people. I don't know. I thought it was fun though, for sure. No likes tonight. No likes. First time I got no likes in a long time. Oh well, that's all right though. I had fun checking it out, and that is all. So I'll see you guys next time. Take care. Good night.